Can you guys hear me okay? Can we hear me all right? Let me know if you can or cannot. You can? All right, terrific. Computer's lying to me, telling me that you guys can't hear me. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to each and every one of you, wherever you are, however you may be listening. Thanks for making us part of your day. It's the best part of the day. It's the best part of the day. The best part of waking up was that today was Tuesday. That was the best part. I was thrilled. I took the day off yesterday. For anybody who doesn't know, we saw this hat recently. Sorry, I'm not mixing them up quick enough. For anybody who doesn't know, I've changed. On Mondays, I'm going to create a long form video. I also have to edit them myself, so it takes a long time. So Mondays, for the next little bit, we won't have shows on Mondays. I'm just going to see how it goes, see how it works. First week was a success. Yesterday was a nightmare. My video is not allowed to be shared or suggested or in the For You feed because of drug use, apparently, which is, I think it's unfair. One, how did they know? That's why I want to know how they how they knew. I put in Visine right before I filmed, so I don't even know how they knew this stuff. No, sir, don't like. We'll see. Look, it's just it's a lot. 5 days a week is a lot to go from Monday, create a long form video, host a show, and then Tuesday we have this show plus Jeffrey, and then Friday it just gets to be a lot. I mean, I think we're streaming, 3.5 times 5, 15 plus Jeff's, almost 35 hours a week, and that doesn't include the prep time. So yeah, the red pill. Yeah, it could be the red pill. I don't know. It said, like, I'll read it to you, actually. I'll read you the notice I got. Where is it? I did appeal it this morning, which is good. And I wouldn't have if Jen hadn't told me. It says, while adults make personal choices about how they engage with alcohol, drugs, and tobacco, we recognize that there are risks connected to trading and using these substances. Content is ineligible if it shows adults consuming excessive amounts of alcohol or tobacco products. I don't know how that happened. Maybe they confused the tiki torches with drugs, tobacco specifically. I don't know. I haven't gone back and watched through it. Maybe you guys, if any of you know what I'm talking about or what they're talking about, please DM me. I can go back and I can edit whatever it is out. But for some reason, that's what happened. So big failure yesterday. We'll try and get better next week. This video is not going to do very well. Anyways, let's jump right into it. I have an outline together. I feel like, honestly, Tommy's done a really good job covering polls. I wasn't really gonna cover any polls, but then everybody is messaging me because we have this the freak out from the Trump folks, them saying that they're winning in all the polls. So I'll show you what they're talking about. Whoops, let me go over here. Who was it? I think it was Real Clear Politics. I think polls make you sad. All right, here's what they're talking about. Let me switch the screen here. By the way, next to me, you'll see our gift goal. Those are the payment apps if you'd like to donate. We do rely on your generosity to keep things going. So there it is. And I'll read any message that you send through those payment apps, almost. So let me pop over here so you can see my screen. This is Real Clear Polling, which is a branch of Real Clear Politics. And this is what they're talking about. This is specifically in Michigan. Trump is leading in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the new polls with a tie in Rasmussen. Right? So this is what everybody's talking about. Now there's some outliers here for sure. Number one, Trafalgar. You see that there's an R next to their name. That's a Republican poll. If it has R or D next to it, I wouldn't worry about it because they're trying to get the result that their candidate wants. So I wouldn't worry about them. They're at +2. Atlas Intel, who historically actually has been fairly accurate. I think they were one of the most accurate pollsters in 2020, but then historically inaccurate in 2022. They've got Trump +3. This was what I wanted to show you. This is M&S Mitchell Research, which is Michigan news source. I don't know who funds these folks. I have no idea. But I went because I went into the methodology to look at this. Is this it? I think this is the right one. Yeah. So they are polling in the most bizarre way. You see here where it says friends and neighbors. Polling can reveal more intimate details than one might get in a conversation. That's why pollsters phrase several questions in a variety of ways to draw out the best data. In many circles, it is socially unacceptable to be a Trump voter, Mitchell said. That's the pollster. Pollsters have been attempting to identify those shy Trump voters that will not even tell a SurveyMonkey poll that they plan on voting for the former president. So they're doing this by saying, instead of asking, who are you voting for? They say, who do they think their friends and neighbors support? When asked that question on the survey, Trump was leading 45 to 35, a marked difference in an 8-way ballot question. So they asked the questions in different ways, and then they put all of the answers together, and that's where they're getting that polling lead for Harris. Harris support dipped 10% for men and women when asked which candidate would get the votes of their friends and neighbors. I think this is people explaining what their fears are, right? Like if you're telling us that your neighbors you think are going to vote for Trump, I think it's possible that it's telling us what our fears are. But let me show you, just so that you don't feel awful about this. Here is Real Clear polling, and they use kind of everything. I think it was 270 to win. Let me make sure this is the right one. No, it was who's the other one I used? Who was it? Who's the other one I used, guys? Which one am I missing? Son of a bitch. Not Real Clear polling. 530. It might have been 538. Yeah, thank you. It might have been 538. Let's look. Yeah, I think it's what it was. Thank you. I forgot that I used 538 again. Now that Nate Silver's gone, we can use 538 again. All right, so if you look at the 538 polls, this is general. You have Harris way up, but even if I go to Michigan, boom, there we go. Looks very different. In Michigan, Harris still has a slight lead there. You look at the new polls. You got Trafalgar, which we throw out because they're partisan. Local Redfield, Wilson, and Strategies, they're doing it for the Telegraph even. There's the Atlas. It's on there twice for some reason. But look at this. Basically in the same time period, Bullfinch, Harris +8. RMG Research has it even. Morning Consult, who is historically one of the most accurate pollsters, has Harris +2. Washington Post, Harris +2 as well. MAGA Sharon is here. MAGA Sharon, what did you have to say this morning? Let me move over here. Hi, Sharon.
Yeah, what do you think about Harris?
I hate you.
What do you think about Harris being +200 on the money line?
200 on the money line? Where are you getting Harris +200 on the money line?
They have it 185 on Bovada. If you look at Polymarket, sitting right around there, and they got like billions
Polymarket
of dollars
doesn't do
in the
money.
market.
Polymarket doesn't do money lines, do they?
Yeah, they don't have money lines, but you can just do the math in your head. Like 40%. Like
what is it? It's 65-35. Yeah.
I think she's at like 36 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like right under 200.
Yeah.
So it's like she's clearly the dog.
In the betting markets? Yeah, for sure. I'm not surprised that her numbers are worse amongst mostly men. That's not surprising.
Well, it's mostly just tech bros gambling because it's not like a small handle. Like the volume on these markets, there's like billions of dollars.
Yeah, it's 2.2 billion on Polymarket, and yeah, most of the heavy lifting for Trump has been like one particular bettor, which is weird. Probably Elon or somebody with Elon amount of money.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird though, because I think Peter Thiel is messing with the odds on Polymarket. Because if you look at Predict It, it's a lot closer.
Yeah, but it depends on who's like predict. It's easier to access. Polymarket, you're not supposed to access from the United States, right? You have to have a VPN just to get there. Um, it's you can only pay in crypto. Polymarket is like it is like a betting market for crypto bros. It's not even like a normal like Bovada or any of the other like overseas markets. It's literally like just crypto bros.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that. It's
And I'm
getting
not
bigger
surprised that
now.
crypto bros don't want to vote for a woman and think Donald Trump is cool. Like, I get it. I get why they think that. I mean, he's an idiot and he's just like a prick,
Well, it did
but
go up
like
into the
crypto
right
bros think
under
that's
Trump.
cool.
It has nothing to do with it going up into the right under Trump. Like under Trump, the thing literally was just up into the right, up into the right. Like it has nothing to do with it.
What are you talking about?
Oh, so like when you're talking about like assets gaining value, like the line moves up into the right. So like Bitcoin, like that means the price goes up. Like if you look at like the price chart over historical, up into the right is referencing that assets. Like crypto, you're referencing.
Yeah, but
crypto,
these aren't assets. These are betting markets.
crypto.
It's literally just
No. Yeah,
it's
no.
as
I
simple as
obviously
how
no.
much
You
money's on one
misunderstand me.
side, how much money's on the other side, and then they give you a
No, they
price
have
because
those are
their goal
market
is to
makers.
excuse me, let me finish the sentence, please. Their goal is to get equal amounts of money on each side. That's the goal of all of these betting markets most of the time. Now, Polymarket's different. I don't know what like type of percentage they're taking. I don't know if they're taking any percentage. I haven't got into Polymarket, but usually there's some juice that they get, so they want the market to be 50-50. But all this is saying is that there's more money on Donald Trump than Kamala Harris. That's it.
Well, I don't think that's not how markets are made. I'm not sure how Polymarket builds their
That's how
markets.
betting
But
markets are made. That's exactly
oh,
like I
really?
was a professional sports bettor. That's how this is made. The more if somebody went and put 10 million on Trump
Wow.
right now, his number would probably go from 65% to like 69%. And Harris's
It's only if
number.
you're a respected bettor. So do
No,
you
it's
like
not.
Billy
No, it's
Walters? Like
not. It's absolutely
no,
not. It has nothing to
this is
do with being
wrong.
it has nothing
Wait,
to
you think
do
they
with
move
being a
lines off of
respected bettor.
DraftKings and
No, listen,
you think
brother,
a
brother.
DraftKings bet can move the line? I've gambled
Yes.
probably more than you. You
Yes.
cannot move the line on DraftKings.
You
These are
can't.
why would
You can't. You can't move the line on
no?
DraftKings, but some people can.
What moves the line? It's
Money.
respected bettors. What's reverse line
Money.
movement then?
No, no,
Explain
no.
reverse line
No, no,
movement.
no, no. There are sharp bettors. They can move the lines because of sharp bettors, which you're calling respected bettors. They would call them sharps. Yes, if enough sharps are on one side, then they'll move the line. But money can also move the line. That's why if you go into like Monday Night Football
In
and it's the
player
Chiefs and
props
it's the
and shit,
Chiefs
not
and
Monday
it's
Night
the
Football.
Chiefs versus anybody, the Chiefs line is going like if you want to pick the Chiefs, you're going to have to lay more points than you normally would because of public betting. This is basic betting 101.
Maybe on like stuff like the Chiefs, but not on major markets like that.
That's what they are. Listen, betting markets, the casino, like FanDuel, they have a 10% VIG that
So
basically
the
they want to
10%
get.
big, yeah.
Yeah, so at minus 110, right? So in order for them to guarantee that they make money, they want equal money on both sides. So if the money gets lopsided on one side, they change the line to get more money to come in on the other side. They're trying to get to 50-50. That's how this works, dude.
Most of these games, look at the games last week. Ravens had 83% of the money on, and the Chiefs had 81%. They don't go for 50-50.
There's nothing sometimes there's nothing these books can do sometimes. They'll shift the line and it still doesn't matter. If you look at that Ravens line moved like 3 points.
That's because sharp bettors like me were betting on the Ravens.
Sharp bettors like you. Where are you betting on FanDuel?
I'm banned from DraftKings. I bet on FanDuel still, yeah.
Okay, well, you're not a sharp bettor if you're betting on FanDuel
Why?
because you would have been banned.
I move my money around. Yeah, you're probably
No,
right.
you would. I am banned from all of them except for Caesars.
You were
Caesars
probably
is the
arbing.
only place I'm not
if you
banned.
Arb,
No, I
My
wasn't
buddy's banned
I
for
wasn't
Caesars.
arbitrage betting. But either way, it doesn't matter. This is a political show. These numbers are basically there's a bunch of people betting on Donald Trump and not as many people betting on Kamala Harris. I don't think they're predictive at all. In fact, the last election, I won a bunch of money on predicted because even after like before they called the election because it took so long, even when it was obvious that Trump was going to lose, you could still get Biden at like 73 cents. Because Trump people will never let it go. They all think they're right. They'll put their money on it, and then they'll just like hold on to for dear life. It does, even when the cards are stacked against it, even when it's obvious they're going to lose. The
There was
amount of
money
money
to be
people
made
made
on
on
those
predict
Biden
it
lines.
betting late, like on Georgia specifically, when people were looking at Georgia's numbers, and the recount was obviously going to go blue, and even when it was obvious, like they were about to call it, it was still like 70 cents you could get it for.
Yeah, there was a lot of freebies on there. I don't get that. Like some of them are just free. Like
It's
you
because
could have got abortion.
Republicans.
You could have got
Here's
abortion
my
during the
theory.
DNC at 80 cents.
Here's my theory about Republicans. Republicans all they're not all lazy when it comes to like life. They're lazy when it comes to politics. They go as far as what confirms their belief, and then they quit. So they're an easy group to bet against because they always think they're right, even when the data is against them. That's why half of them still think they won in 2020, because they're confident in a minimal amount of research, and they just maintain that confidence all the way through. And that's what I'm seeing with Polymarket. That's what I'm seeing. Somebody, I don't know if it was you that was messaging me on Twitter about predicted,
No.
but I didn't know this predicted market had shifted this hard either. This is a big shift towards Trump. But these are just like bros putting their money on Trump. And I think that bros don't understand what's happening in this country right now. Bros have been on top for a while. I don't think that they realize that most of America doesn't like the bros anymore.
Like these aren't like your most of America. Yeah, well, but these aren't just like your frat bros from like ASU or whatever. Like these are kids with billions of dollars.
No, a lot of them are just the frat bros, and then there's a couple big people like, and I'm assuming it's Elon on Polymarket. It might be Peter Thiel, but I'm assuming it's Elon, and they're dumping money to make Donald Trump look good. I was just showing those Michigan polls. Like, this is what Republicans are doing right now. They're flooding the zone with shitty polls, and now these poly markets to create this energy.
Well, if you look
and
at the
it's because their candidate,
Trump.
Can't create any energy. So they're now
You're
trying all
looking at
these
the
other
two-way
ways to
polls.
create energy.
Look at Jill Stein, a third-party candidate in Michigan. They don't do too well. Kamala
She's getting 1% of the vote
in Michigan.
I'm looking at it right now. There's not all pollsters include Jill Stein, but like Redfin, which is one of the largest, in fact, second largest, they have Jill Stein. She's getting 1%. Atlas Intel, which is the largest and also has Jill Stein at 1%.
I mean, didn't Michigan have 14% uncommitted in the primary?
Yeah, but uncommitted folks aren't going to vote for Trump. And a lot of them,
they're going to stay home.
There's a Washington
or vote for
Post
Stein.
article that I'll read today, but a lot of them are still going to vote. They're going to plug their nose and they're going to vote for Kamala. And they're going to hope that she makes a change from Biden. They're certainly not going to vote Trump because Trump wants to obliterate Palestine.
I mean, so does Kamala. I mean, if you look at,
she doesn't want to obliterate Palestine. That's silly. Not in the same way. To compare their two.
You think Trump wants to? I mean, yes. I don't think Trump wants to be involved in this war.
He said, "Finish the job." What does that mean?
I mean, if you listen though, the full quote, he said these guys are getting killed publicly. It looks terrible on them. Everyone's starting to lose their support, and he said for good reason too, because Bibi was one of the first guys.
Whether you like his explanation or not, he said, "Finish the job." You can agree with his explanation. I don't. Yeah, I know.
Agreeing to the ceasefire.
Right. See, so everybody knows that's what you guys think. Everybody knows that. So these uncommitted voters aren't going to show up for you.
They're just not going to show up at all, which is a win for Trump.
They're going to show up in some number, but they don't make up a significant number of the voting population. Where we're going to see potentially a problem, like if you want to look at Dearborn specifically, we'll know pretty early. Like if Dearborn for some reason is closer, like if it's not a blowout, then we'll be like, uh-oh, this uncommitted vote might be a problem.
Yeah, I would be, because I think this Israel stuff is going to get a lot worse right before the election. You look at this whistleblower and it's crazy. The whistleblower for Israel gets found immediately, but the whistleblowers for, the Roe v. Wade and all this shit, they never find them. But this is the Israel one, they find them in 12 hours.
Wait, you know why we don't ever find them? Because they're Republicans, and they just
Wait, you think the Roe v. Wade leak was a Republican?
Yeah.
If anything,
I think it was John Roberts. I think it was John Roberts saving his ass. Yeah, John Roberts loves that he gets to play mediator.
When someone commits a crime, you have to think who benefits from this. That killed the Republicans.
No, it didn't.
That was right before the 2020 election, and they or the 2022 election, the midterms, and they got killed.
They were going to lose. They were going to lose that.
They got smoked. And why was that? Because of abortion. What's the number?
They were going to lose anyways, and they're going to lose anyways because every Republican, and we'll see. They're starting to line up in the box now. No Republican actually knows anything about their candidates. Most of them are just Trump people, and so when Trump isn't on the ballot, they don't show up. We've learned that about like the invisible Trump voter, the people that like nobody can poll, nobody can figure out where they came from, and then they show up on voting day. They only show up for Trump. They don't show up for other people. It's just like the.
I don't think that's a really large percentage. That's maybe like 5%.
It's enough that's probably what won him the election in 2016.
Yeah, like he was he kind of just he was able to reach into different areas where a Republican nominee would just never pull votes from.
Yeah, racist, misogynist, yeah, white nationalist. Because he provides space for that. He provides space for like the worst people in the GOP. And the GOP for 30 years has been running away from them because it was bad press. And Trump was like, I'm just gonna embrace it.
Like Richard Spencer endorses Kamala.
No, he doesn't. You know that he's playing games there. If you're falling for that, no, good for you.
I think Spencer's really interesting, and like even Nick Fuentes is now pulled support from Trump.
Yeah, why? Why?
Why? Because he thinks he's too pro-Israel and he's going to go to war with Iran.
Yeah. Exactly.
And he thinks he hates the HB1 visas. He thinks he's going to ship in millions of Indians, take all the jobs.
So they all hate immigrants. Trump moved to the middle just a little bit, and he lost the support of the white nationalists. He's not racist enough for that.
Yeah, he picked up the support.
But he's racist enough
like
for like the middle ground white nationalists, like the Charlie Kirks or the Matt Walshes or the Steven Crowders. Like he's good for them. Like
the ones that are on the
white
Israeli
nationalists
plantation.
that pretend that they're not white nationalists.
Yeah, like Matt Walsh, the guy is just working for Ben Shapiro. The guy's a complete joke. I mean, that guy has written articles about how Israel has major influence over our country. And then when he's asked about it now that he's getting all his Daily Wire money, he's like, nope. That's such a bad. Like, that's a piece of shit. Fuck him.
I got to ask you a question. How does it feel knowing that like most of the racists are on your side of the aisle? What does that tell you?
I mean, that's like the whole logic. It's like, well, do you like dogs? Hitler had a dog.
No, it's not. Right, no, it's not. No. It's not even close. The question is, why are they all on your side of the aisle?
They're not endorsing Trump. Nick isn't endorsing Trump.
He's not. Well, he's been wearing a MAGA hat for 8 years.
That's when the MAGA hat was actually cool, and you'd get beat up for wearing it. Now
it's never been cool. It's never been cool.
Bill Ackman's wearing it. Mark Zuckerberg's wearing it. Like all these girls
wearing a MAGA hat. He's so
pretty
cool.
Much. I mean,
everybody's always like, Mark Zuckerberg is so. I don't think he wore a MAGA hat, but Mark Zuckerberg.
I don't think he wore a MAGA hat, but
Elon
he said
Musk
like Donald
isn't
Trump
cool.
Getting shot and leaving.
Yeah.
Sending rockets into the air is pretty cool. I mean,
he didn't do that. He just owns a company that took all the people from NASA and they just kept doing the work. But
yeah, regardless, I mean, rockets are sick. But
sure.
And he's taking credit for it. I mean, he wants to, I mean, the whole Elon hate thing, I think he's pretty cool. And what he said about
sure you do. He's an idiot. I think he's an idiot.
I think the whole thing he's doing with this $1 million thing,
where he's paying people. He's paying people to vote. You guys love that.
Sounds illegal. Sounds very illegal.
Oh, he's fun. He's in. If Trump doesn't win, he's in trouble. There's no question about that. This entire MAGA movement, like this entire campaign is just one illegal move after another. They are just banking on this idea that like hopefully he wins, because if he doesn't, like so many people are going to jail, and none of you guys care about that. You're just like, yeah, we just want to win. We just want to win.
I don't like Trump should be trying harder, because honestly, if he loses, he's probably gonna go to jail. And like, I think he's not trying hard enough.
Well, he's dumb. I think the thing that you forget is that all the smart people that used to surround him, he ran off because they were like, hey, dude, you lost. You lost. And he's like, okay, no more smart people around. I'm going to fill my cabinet exclusively with idiots. It's just going to be me and the rest of the idiots. And if somebody comes in who's smart, they got to go. Like Steve Bannon, if he gets out of prison if Steve Bannon gets out of prison before the election, he's going to be hired immediately by Trump.
Yeah, Bannon, I think he's like a spy for that one family, but what's that fucking that
I
oil
don't know.
family?
I don't know, but
But
he's not. I don't know.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of Bannon, but I do think there is something to say about who Trump is currently surrounding himself with. Guys like La Savita, guys like Susie Wiles. These guys are pretty much never Trump. Even J.D. Vance, never Trumper.
Yeah, they all, yeah. And then how do you think that happened? How do you think J.D. Vance became a Trump person from a never Trump?
I mean, we predicted this. This is, we had him at 30-1 on the money line. We hit big on Vance. Good for our pockets, bad for America.
How do you think it happened?
How did we know that he was going to get tapped for BP? I'll tell you. We at 30-1. We knew, we had a good source from inside the Trump admin that guys like Tucker, guys like Peter Thiel, the Palantir money, Silicon Valley, they were pushing Vance hard, right? These these institutional guys, these institutional
you got a VP that's bought and paid for. Congrats.
Yeah, this guy, he's got a gun to the back of Trump's head right now. And if Trump doesn't go
to war with Iran, he's got one to his too.
Well, yeah, if Trump doesn't go to war with Iran, they're just going to pop him, and then they got their guy in there, and he's the biggest Palantir Israeli shill in the world.
Why do you support all this then? I don't get it. Is that what you want to happen?
No, honestly, I think Kamala winning would probably be better because then in 28 we could get like a real like nationalist, crazy right-winger that like...
Why do you want a crazy nationalist right-winger?
Well, yeah, because I just think the left wing is like completely cancer to the society, and like even like their whole ideology is just self-hating. They're killing themselves. Like if you look at all like the leftist societies in the world, they're all failing. They're all declining birth rates. They're all literally killing themselves. Just look at look at LA. I mean, you could look at all these college. I mean, the United States.
Look at LA.
Europe,
you said other countries, and now you're saying LA.
I said the West, all the West. Name one. It'd be easier to say who isn't. Places like, I guess, Poland, a few places, but most of these places are losing their nation. Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. But so you mean like that there's immigrants coming into those nations?
That's part of it. They're not reproducing. The birth rates in these nations are all failing. They are all killing themselves. With this transgender.
Can you use better words?
Yeah,
so I don't get in trouble. Thanks.
But they're doing a lot. Like it's a lot of. It's antithetical to a good society.
I have far more problem with somebody who believes that we should live separately, divided by race, than I would ever have with somebody saying I'm this gender. I don't get it. I like what you guys are literally an identity. You're literally an identity. You're literally an identity politics group, and you get mad at other people for identity politics or for having an identity. You're literally a white nationalist, and you have a problem with other people identifying. It's silly.
Other groups already do it.
I know, but you have a problem. But you have a problem. But you have a problem with it, and yet here you are as a white nationalist.
No, we don't have a problem with it. I mean, this is going to happen.
Sure you do. You don't want. Do you want trans people? Do you want trans people to be able to be open and in public?
Preferably no.
Okay, well then, yeah, you've got a problem with it, don't you?
Well, no, I thought you were talking about like just like let's say a good example would be. I don't know, like Southeast Asian people looking out for Southeast Asian people and having.
Yeah, but you're a white nationalist. You're a white person wanting to look out for white people. That's
Yeah, but white people don't do that.
Everything you guys complain about is just the thing that you want for yourself.
Yeah, but the thing is, our country was created by white people. Like we're like a country.
I don't care.
So, like,
I don't care. What does that have to do with anything?
Like.
We're not a white nation.
I would never go to like China. I would never go to China.
We don't want to be a white nation.
You guys are protective of your own people. You guys protect your ethnicity. You protect your institutions. Like you guys are terrible. Like that's insane. Like this is
that's
our
what
home.
You want.
Immigrants
that is literally what you're advocating for.
No.
Yes,
only
it
in
is.
Our home.
I just
don't want immigrants coming here and telling us what they want.
We don't want trans people. We don't want immigrants.
We don't want immigrants.
We don't want liberalism.
We don't want
woke. We don't want woke. You literally want to be white China. Like that's your goal is to be white China, and you get to control the birth rates, and you get to control what everybody looks like. Yeah, you're just.
You're starting to get it. But with white people instead of Chinese, like we want our people to do it.
I know, and you guys are all Trump supporters. This is, by the way, for anybody who's here that's a Trump supporter, it's like we're not racist. Whoops.
I mean, we're not racist, but when
You
everyone
are.
else is running around with a
You
jersey
are.
on and white
Wait, you're
people are
racist. Just
playing
say
the
that.
game.
Why would you lie about being racist? Why don't you just have some courage and admit that you're racist?
Well, I believe the world is racialist. I believe in
But why won't you
race.
just admit that you're racist? Why hide
Because
behind it?
I don't like hate, like it's not hateful to like say that like other groups look out for us and they're not sympathetic to white people or our nations, right? That's not hate, but it is identifying.
It is
that
racism,
race is
though.
real.
It is racism, though.
No, because it's not hatred, it's not bigotry, it is racialism.
Racism doesn't require hate.
What is racism? What's your definition of racism? They say all white people are racist, so it's hard to, you know.
Who says that?
Personally, who says that? I mean, all your favorite friends on here. Parker says that. I heard that out of his mouth.
Oh, he's talking. Yeah, he's talking about like structural racism and like systemic racism.
I don't know. Of all white people is what I heard.
Yeah, just like the idea that different races possess like characteristics, abilities, qualities, so that you can identify like one race is inferior, one race is superior. That's what I would view
which race
as
is
racism.
inferior?
What's that?
Which race is inferior?
I don't believe races are inferior, but the white nationalists believes the white race is tippy top.
But like, yeah, I don't believe that. I think Asians have a higher IQ on average.
Yeah,
so
but you don't want to go, but you don't want to be Asian. So you must think there's something about being white that's better.
Well, no, I just don't. I'm not like a trans racialist. I don't want to like change my race, right? Like I'm like I was born white.
What if you just stopped being an idiot? Have you thought about that?
Oh, good one. Yeah.
No, I'm serious. Like, do you know how stupid it is to be a racist? Do you know how dumb that is?
Well, yeah, obviously, like hating people.
Yeah, why don't you
based
just
off the
stop
color
being an
of your skin
idiot?
is, like,
Just stop
stupid.
being racist and just be a normal human
I don't think
being.
I am racist. Like,
no, you
I don't
are.
think I am
You
racist.
certainly are, and maybe that's the lie.
I mean, acknowledging that
maybe
other
that's the
groups
lie
have,
you tell yourself so that you can keep going, so that you lose like your Reddit buddies. But yeah, you are.
Reddit. I literally
You guys,
can't.
you're
I'm
probably
IP
more of a
from
4chan.
Reddit.
Sorry, 4chan. I apologize.
Nah, I never posted on there.
Why don't you just stop being racist and just join the rest of the world?
I mean, that's the thing, though. The white people that are like anti-racist, they get it the worst. Like, look at that cop, or not the cop, the woman, that nurse that allegedly stole the bike from that black guy, and it was literally just like a black kid. It was like, "Give me your bike, you fucking bitch!"
That's
stole
not
it
what.
from her.
That's not even. That's crazy.
The NYU nurse.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she was like,
"Brother, this is
she was literally going to all the Black Lives Matter rallies."
The question I asked you, and let me tell you why I said stop being an idiot. That story didn't happen the way that you laid it out, but it also didn't happen to you. It also didn't happen to me, and it should not give anybody any pause of like what race is better. You're looking at a video of people with different race, and you're making assumptions based on race of that video. The video had nothing like. Maybe it had something to do with race. Maybe it didn't.
Race.
Who knows?
They literally called her a racist.
Maybe she is. I don't know.
No, but they went on her Facebook and she went all of the fucking pro-life, all the Black Lives Matter, not pro-life, all the BLM stuff. And then the second she took a bike and a black guy wanted it.
Why do you care about this? Excuse me.
Why do I care that Oh, yeah. So, like, you say your point was, why don't you just give it up? Join the team like the rest of us. Just join the colorblind meritocracy.
Don't be everybody else.
Or even just agree that all white people.
Just stop being racist. You can do whatever you want, but just, like, drop the racist shit.
Is it racist to like even identify, like, if I say black people commit a majority of the crime in America, like, is that racist?
No. I don't think that's true either.
Wait, it's not racist, or is it not true?
It's not true.
Per capita, it is true. What are you talking about?
Well, you said the majority of the crime, right? The problem here's why I have hold on real quick. Here's why I think you should stop being racist. Because it is thought stopping, right? So if you were to say something like in an area like pick maybe Chicago, wherever you guys want to pick, and say that proportionately black people commit more crime, you guys stop there. You're like, therefore black people are worse. But you never look at the underlying conditions.
I never say that. I never come to that conclusion.
No, hold on. It's thought stopping. Because this was me. I was saying the same things you were. I wasn't as like open about it as you were, but it's just thought stopping. If you go a little further, say, okay, why are these people committing more crime? What's their
Culture.
economic? What are their socioeconomic conditions? What's their upward mobility? Like what are their chances in life? Because
I haven't
the truth of the
considered
matter is,
socioeconomic
every single
factors.
problem in this, every problem that you can think of in this world that has become like a big problem,
Can be
it's a
explained
problem
through
of
data and
it's a
statistics
problem
in
of
our
wealth
institutions.
inequality. Yes, it's a problem
Oh
of wealth
my
inequality
God.
almost always. The
Wealth
fact
inequality?
that we have massive immigration is due to wealth inequality. The reason we had rising homelessness was because of wealth inequality. Crime rises when wealth inequality rises. All of these things are tied to wealth inequality.
Bullshit.
But
You see
being
all
a
the NFL
racist
players.
makes you stop and think black
Bullshit.
people committed crime, therefore they're worse. You just stop thinking.
Because you see it amongst the rich people too. Look at all the NFL players. Rashida Rice, his mom just stole a package off someone's Porsche. She's worth millions of dollars.
I don't
Same
care.
guy just crashed his
I don't
car trying
care.
to kill people.
I don't care.
Oh, well, yeah, you don't care, obviously, but this stuff is true.
Well, I'm giving you statistics. You're giving me stories
you may not
because you
care,
want to
but
hang
this
on.
stuff is
No,
happening.
because you want to hang on to your
Here's a
racism
statistic.
so badly
2% of
that
the
you
population
keep.
of
Hold
Vermont
on, you
is
keep. I
black.
can talk over you. You keep giving me stories when I give you statistics. You want to be
statistics?
racist. It's who you are. It's part of your
No,
identity.
it's not
You
who I
want to
am.
be
I
racist,
believed
but
all
I'm
this
telling
stuff.
you, being a racist is just being like, hey, I'm a quitter.
No.
I'm lazy. And I'm not very intelligent. I just
It's the
quit when I
opposite.
get the answer I want.
It's completely the opposite. You're taking
It's
the easy
not.
road. The path of least
I
resistance
took it easy most of my
is the
life.
road that you take.
I took it easy
The
most.
path
I was
but-
just like you. I was just
Wait,
like
that's
you.
irrelevant.
I
That's
saw
irrelevant.
a story.
That's irrelevant.
I concluded.
And then
I
you-
concluded that racism wasn't real.
And then you
it
gave
was just
up.
made
And then
up.
you gave
And
up.
then I showed up and I got dusted on debate after debate after debate. And for a long time, I didn't admit it to
on
myself.
you.
But then I did admit it to myself. But that's what's happening right now. I'm giving you
The
examples.
path of least resistance is your stance, not mine.
Excuse me?
You say that the easy way out is being a racist. Look what
No,
they do
no,
to
no,
these
no,
people.
no,
They
no.
ban them
Not
from
the
the banks.
the
They
lazy,
ban them from society. They lose their
lazy
job.
way
They go
out.
after
I
their
said
families. They
lazy
attack
way
their
out.
kids.
I said lazy way. You're lazy.
How is it lazy? This stuff
Because you stop thinking. You find a data point and you don't dig into it. You don't try and figure out what happened to that data point. You're like, oh, black, there it is. And you stop. You're just lazy. All
you've
of you
seen
are
this
lazy. That's why every time one of you groypers gets into a debate with somebody educated, it goes very, very poorly. Because you don't, all you have is story.
Yesterday.
Tim Pool, same thing. Story. And if you give you guys data,
funny
you
you
just
bring
tell us
that up.
another story. You're lazy.
Funny you bring that up. Samurai
Thank you.
Groyper just shoved Charlie Kirk's face
I don't
into
know
the
who
subway
Samurai
car like he
Groyper
was
is,
the
but
Sandman.
I don't know
You know
who
who
that is.
Charlie
But
Kirk
Charlie
is?
Kirk
Charlie
argues
Kirk?
like a groyper.
He got destroyed by a
Charlie
groyper
Kirk's a
yesterday. His
groyper.
face was getting... Israel first, Charlie Kirk is now a groyper. You don't even know what you're talking about.
100% Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is
Google
whatever.
groyper war.
Charlie
Do you know
Kirk is
what groyper war
literally.
is?
Charlie Kirk
the
is literally
groypers had an
whatever
entire
his fans want him
era
to be.
where they attacked Charlie. Let me explain something to you. Groyper War was an era through 2018 through 2020 where the entire production of America First and the Groyper movement was about going to Charlie Kirk's events, getting in the Q&A, and attacking him for his positions and holding his face
because this is what you guys
for
do.
2
Yes,
years,
yes,
we
wait,
would attack
yes,
this motherfucker.
yes.
And he would squirm, cry,
yes,
put the little yarmulke
yes,
on.
Wait, yes, I heard
And
you.
he hates
I
us.
already agreed with you. Yes, because that's the problem with white nationalism. That's the problem with racism. You will never stop dividing. So even when you have somebody that's basically part of the Groyper movement, you find a small thing that you don't like about
Israel
them,
more
and
than
you
America.
and you split more. And you just keep splitting. There's no end to where you guys will split because you're all just racist. All of you
America
are just trying to
first is
figure out a way
non-negotiable.
to figure out why your genetics are
We
superior.
do not negotiate
and so you
with
guys,
Israeli
even the
terrorists.
Groypers can't stay together because you always find a way to divide. That's what you do.
No. They
Then
try to
explain
divide
to me,
us.
explain to me how Charlie Kirk, who's absolutely alt-right and a white
Fun-
nationalist
he's-
and an internet troll and a provocateur, he fits all the 4 characteristics of a Groyper, and you guys are saying he's not a Groyper. Because
He's not
you made
America
a decision,
first.
because you made
not
a
America
decision
first.
to kick him out of the group because
He is pro-immigration.
Exactly,
he is pro-Israel. He's
because he has a
pro-war.
policy disagreement. So now he can't be
It's
a
not
white
a policy
nationalist with the rest of
disagreement.
you.
We're banned from his events.
Because he's
We're not
also
allowed
soft.
in.
All of you guys are soft. You just want to divide. All of you are
The Israeli donors
soft
at TPUSA
stop. Like, none of you have an original thought. You just yell at each other because that's really, at the end of the day, what you want is you want to be right, but none of you want to
our
get
country
it right.
To put America first.
Yeah, but you want our country to put white people. You want our country to put white men first. That's what you want.
No, even if we literally gave reparations to all the black people and said fuck all the white people, fuck them honestly, and it was going to Americans and not Israel, and not to the fucking Iran war or the war on terror.
You know how I know you're full, you know how I know you're lying about that? You know how I know you're lying about that?
I'm not lying.
Because if you weren't lying about
we'd just be able to get all the money back anyway.
If you weren't lying about that, you would be advocating for it. The Groypers aren't out there saying, let's pay reparations, let's pay reparations and not send that money overseas. You're lying right now. Because if that's really what you wanted, you'd advocate for it, not use it as a way to deflect from the fact that you're all a bunch of dumb racists.
I said I would prefer it. We don't want reparations. I said I prefer reparations in America over endless Israeli wars, right?
You don't want
it's not like we're here at... Well, I'm not going to get up there and fucking protest with fucking George Floyd's
black
brother
people.
And reparations.
You almost said it. You almost said with black people. I know what that was close.
I was trying to think about black people. A figure. I'm not gonna. No, I would protest with black people against Israel occupation of our government. I'll fucking go to the hood right now. We'll throw up anti-Israel signs.
I would highly recommend you not go someplace. I would highly recommend you not go places where people have heard you speak or are going to hear you speak.
Wait, you think they would attack me? You think they would attack me?
You can hold your white supremacist views, but it's not going to change my mind or other people's mind that your views are just lazy. I mean, it's the middle of my sentence. That's the middle of my sentence. You can hold those views, but I'm still going to call them lazy. I'm still going to call you guys.
Almost caught you there.
What?
What would they do if I went to Chicago and started saying what I thought? You think they would logically disagree with me, or do you think they would attack me? You said you suggested.
I think so. Listen. Men in this country have a problem where when we get confronted, we think the right thing to do is fight. And that transcends all races. That's just a dumb thing that men do. And so if you go into just the same way, if I went to like a MAGA rally and I started talking shit about Trump, the men would probably try and fight me.
I don't think so.
Okay.
You think of like a there's been plenty of provocateurs at the Trump rally. They leave fine. Go to a Black Lives Matter rally.
There's been plenty of them that have been punched. There's been plenty of them that have been punched.
Really? I mean, probably.
Yeah, really. Lots of it. Happens all the time.
The real violence was coming from the left.
I don't
look at the Black Lives Matter.
No.
Oh, well, obviously you don't care because it's your side. Why would you take that?
No, I think it's a men thing. I think it has more to do with men than it has to do with than sides. I think that you have men on both. I think that mostly you have men on both sides who are incapable of regulating their emotions, and so when somebody disagrees with them, they just try and fight. I see it at football games all the time. Go Steelers, fuck you, go Bears, and then they fight. That's what men do. We're dumb, dude. We think the way to solve things is by fighting. It's just dumb.
Yeah, me personally, I'm a pacifist. You know,
No, you're not.
No, you're not. If someone tried to attack me, I'd shoot him because I would never fight anyone.
That's not a pacifist.
I would shoot him.
That's not a pacifist. But
I
just got a warning. You gotta go. Sorry. I asked you to be careful with your words. I wasn't very careful with your words there, but. We got the white nationalists out here today. Los, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, Jake?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Hey, I just wanted, I'm kind of on the fence on a certain subject. I wanted your opinion on, I just watched an interview that came out today with Candace Owens, and I know you're not too fond of her.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the claims she's making?
I don't know what claims she's making today. I didn't see anything about Candace Owens today.
Well,
what did she say?
Well, Kamala's grandmother passed away in 1960.
Oh, that's an old one. That's been
What?
out for like a month and a half. Yeah, that's all debunked. You should look it up.
How was it debunked?
Well, the person that died, the grandmother that died, and they say she's 39 when she died. Kamala's grandmother would have been 43. It's the wrong person. It's just the same name, wrong person. And then she did the genetics. Then she pulled the family tree of the wrong person. It's all been debunked. Candace Owens is an idiot. There's another idiot for you.
So you don't think she's intelligent at all?
No, you can be intelligent and also be an idiot. She's an idiot in the same way. No. Let me explain. She's an idiot in the same way that I think most conservative commentators are. They're lazy. They just get to the answer that they like and then they stop. They never go any further to be like, am I right? Should I check this? Candace Owens' video came out and within 10 minutes I knew she was wrong. Like I was just Googling everything she was claiming it was wrong.
So you believe the Snopes, that Google search history that was pushed right to the top, you think they would do that for no reason?
Do what?
Fact checking?
What?
All the fact checking sites. Do you think they would?
I wasn't using fact checking sites, bud. This was 10 minutes after she had released her video. There were no fact checks on it yet. I did my fact check long before the fact checkers did. It took them weeks to do a fact check. Did you check any of these? Did you check any of this, or did you just trust Candace Owens?
No, actually, before I got on the live, I went and researched it.
Then you know. Wait, then you know that that's the wrong grandma.
It's not the wrong grandma.
Then why was she 39 when she died, but she would have been 43 that year?
What do you mean?
If Kamala's grandmother had died the year they're claiming that other person died, she would have been 43. But the person who died that they're using was 39. It's the wrong age. Welcome, everybody, from the Doug Raid. It's good to have you here. It's the wrong person, dude. It's absolutely the wrong person.
How could I verify that then? Like, where could I go to?
Well, when you go. I don't know, whatever you use for a search engine. Sounds like if I tell you to Google it, you won't.
Well, I did Google it, and then Snopes came up first, and then some other fact checking.
What's wrong with Snopes? What's wrong with Snopes?
It's just a political propaganda tool.
So this is what I was explaining. This is what I was explaining to the last guest. All of you guys are lazy. Snopes includes Snopes includes the links. So you don't even have to agree with Snopes' conclusion, but you can get the links that they used. And if you had followed those links from Snopes, you would know that this is the wrong person.
So you believe that the resident from Jamaica that actually met Kamala's grandmother and confirmed that she was not black, you think that she's lying?
Yes.
For no reason?
Yes. No, it's for a reason. It's for a reason. First of all, it's because you guys don't actually have anything to smear Kamala with. So she's not black, which is fucking weird. Like, everybody has known Kamala in this country for like 30 years. She's black. And then she didn't work at McDonald's. This is what your campaign does when you have nothing. And it's silly, Los, that you're falling for this. Your guy's a convicted felon. Your guy is lying every single day. See, and there's another thing. There's another talking point that you haven't Googled. Because if you Googled it, you would know that he is a convicted felon and that sentencing has nothing to do with being convicted. See, then you're just repeating shit that you've been told, but you're lazy with your takes. You're very lazy.
Why can't we just have a dialogue, though? Why do you have to go to insult?
I'm correcting your dialogue because you're being lazy with it.
Okay, well, that's fine. We could then help me not be lazy, and then I'll help you not get tricked.
Part of me helping you not listen. You got to toughen up then, because part of me, maybe I'm a tough coach. Maybe I use tough love. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you say things that aren't true, I'm going to point out that you were lazy in coming to that conclusion. In both these scenarios, Candace Owens and now the convicted felon thing, you just trusted somebody. You didn't do the work yourself. You didn't go and see, like, is this real? You just trusted them.
I mean, obviously, we know that's lawfare. Like, everybody knows that.
What's lawfare?
The only reason you don't know what lawfare is, it's using the law against your political opponents.
That's not lawfare, bud.
So you just said what is lawfare? How are you gonna?
Because I didn't think you. I don't think you understand what's going on. How did Kamala Harris use lawfare against Donald Trump?
It's not just Kamala Harris; it's the whole Democratic Party.
How did they do that?
They're fabricating fucking bullshit out of
What
thin
was
air.
fabricated?
34
What was
34 counts
fabricated?
of felonies that
What
they
was
stretched out
fabricated?
from president.
What was
They just switched the
fabricated?
presidential campaign rules
What was fabricated?
because they switched the presidential campaign rules.
What?
They switched the presidential campaign rules of donations.
They did? When did they do that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't.
They
Are you
didn't
telling
change
me
the
that
rules.
before? Are you telling me that before you could just give $130,000 to a campaign, and then they changed it, and then they retroactively sent Michael Cohen to jail for it, and then convicted Donald Trump retroactively? That's not even you. You can't even do that. That's not even possible to do, bud.
Okay, well, I'm not too versed on those facts. But
Then why are you so short? Then see, but
Kamala-
this is the thing. This is what I'm telling you.
Yeah,
You're
but at least
lazy
I'm-
because you have an opinion that Donald Trump has been picked on, and you only go as far as to what confirms your opinion. That's why I'm calling you lazy. You there? Yeah.
All right, my bad. But I mean, you don't think that Candace has any credibility at all, like to be making Judge
I
Joe
don't care.
Brown?
I don't care about credibility. On this claim, she's wrong.
But like, she is not black. It's fine. Like, I'm okay with
She
black
is
people,
black,
bro.
brother. Where do you
I
think?
grew up-
Where do you think?
I
What do
grew
you
up
think
with
the
black
ancestry
people.
of Jamaicans are?
They're black, but her father. Just
Okay,
because you're born,
her father's Jamaican.
yeah, just because you're born. Okay, and if you're born in South Africa, does that mean you're black?
Not if you're not black, it doesn't. But if you're black
Yeah,
and you're from
just 'cause
South
you're born
Africa,
in
then yes.
Jamaica doesn't
But
make
he's
you black. You
but
could be a
he's
white
black.
person that's
But
born in
he's
Jamaica.
black. But he's black, dude.
He's not black.
What is he?
Pull up a picture of Donald Harris then.
Okay. I can't show it to you. Actually, I can't switch screens here, but yeah, he looks pretty black to me.
But why can't she just run on being Indian? Like
She didn't run. She's not running on being black or Indian.
Yeah, she is. She's trying to appeal to the black community.
She grew up in the black
changing her
community.
accent.
She's
changing
black.
her accents.
She's black,
She's
and she
going
grew
to
up in
black
the black.
churches.
She's black, and she grew up in a black community. She went to a black church. What are you talking about?
That doesn't make her black. I went to a black school. That doesn't make me
She's
black.
black, bro. This is crazy. This is
I
so
went to a
stupid.
black
This
school.
is
Does that make
so
me black?
fucking stupid. You guys are playing
It is-
identity politics,
it is dumb.
trying to take
Black-
away the
black
race.
people will
Excuse me.
vote for
Excuse
an
me.
Indian
Excuse me.
woman.
Excuse me. Excuse me. This is stupid. I don't want to even argue this anymore. She's black. Just because you guys are dumb enough to believe Candace Owens and Donald Trump, like, I don't know what to tell you. She's black. Her dad's black. Everybody has always said she, and in fact, nobody ever questioned whether or not she was black until Donald Trump showed up. And Donald Trump does this. Donald Trump questions his opponent's ethnicity all the time. He did it with Obama. He questions whether people were born. He did it with Obama. He did it with Mitt Romney. He did it with Ted Cruz. This is just what he does. He plays identity politics, and he tries to tell people that they're lying about their identity in order to smear them. How many times are you guys going to fall for this? He's been doing it for 12 years now, and you guys fall for it every fucking time. Every time he does it, you're like, oh, but this time it's real.
It's because she's lying. It's just the lies. I don't care.
He's the one
She
that's
could-
lying. Why? Is
Well,
Obama
she
black?
didn't- she
Is
didn't lie
Obama black?
about-
Is Obama black?
Yeah, his father's Kenyan, but
Was
he's
he
not,
born in this country?
But he
Was
was
he
not
born in this country?
raised-
Was he born in this country?
I think he was. I'm not too sure about that.
Okay. Did Ted Cruz's parents, were Ted Cruz's parents American citizens?
Honestly, I don't.
Yeah,
even
they
know
were.
the
Were Mitt
records
Romney's
about
parents
that.
American citizens?
I don't even think.
Yeah,
that
they
have to
were.
be, as
And
long
what?
as-
And
as long
Donald
as you're
Trump and
competent.
Donald Trump lied about all of them. He
Okay,
lied about
when
every
did I bring
single
up
one of
Donald
them.
Trump?
It's what he does.
When did I
Stop
bring up
falling for
Donald
the same
Trump?
shit, man. Be
When did I
better.
bring
Stop
up Donald
falling for
Trump?
the same grift. It's a lazy grift by him. He's not even changing it up anymore.
Okay, did I bring up Donald Trump in any of those points?
The reason that this is being brought up is because Donald Trump is pushing this message, and then Candace Owens is like, oh, I'm going to do something that supports Donald Trump because she loves him. And she
You
knows
think
who her
she's-
audience is.
So
She
she
knows her
criticizes-
audience.
she
She knows her
criticizes
audience is
Israel,
you.
but she
Los,
loves
she
Trump?
knows Los. She knows her audience is you. She knows you won't fact check. She knows that you're going to go out and repeat exactly what she says, which is exactly what you did. You do it with all of them. You don't fact check any
No,
of
I
this.
didn't.
You just
I
repeat
just fact
lies you've
checked
been
it.
told. It's lazy.
I just fact checked it, and
Go for it.
there's a. You don't believe that they're censoring information?
Oh, no, what happened? You couldn't find it on your fact check?
No, I got a phone call.
No, what you said you just fact checked it. What did the fact check say?
It's censored information.
What do you mean it's censored information? What is that? What do you mean? Where's the fact check? What website are you on?
It's because there's plenty of different sites that say contradicting information.
Oh, I think what you mean is you found a fact check and it doesn't back up what you say, so now you're calling it censored, right?
So you believe the...
Is that right? Wait, hold on. Just tell me, is that right? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I went on the site and it didn't confirm what I was believing.
And instead of going through that article and clicking on the links and trying to figure out what the truth... Excuse me, please, Los, this is your opportunity to learn something. Instead of clicking on that article and going through the links and fact-checking it yourself, you closed it and you said censorship. There's other websites who say the opposite. Therefore, I get to keep believing what I believe. You and all of your friends are lazy. Very, very lazy. And you're actually afraid to find out that you're wrong.
No,
you won't even read the fact check. You won't even fact check the fact check.
Being wrong.
Well, then, what does the fact check say then? Read it to us.
But you just told me
No, read the fact check to us, please.
But you just told me to
read
be
the fact check to us,
please.
Read the fact check to us, please.
So just because it says it's a fact check,
read the fact check to us, please.
So when they
read the fact check to us, please. Listen. You're
bad,
either going to read the fact check or I'm going to go to the next guest. Which one do you want to do, Los?
It says that claim is false. That Kamala Harris's grandmother was another lady. That they're switching the.
And what's their source? And what's their source? And what's their source?
Are you going to let me talk?
What's their source? No. I'm going to walk you through this because you don't know how to do it. You're learning today. What's the source?
I mean, it's Snopes. I just clicked on Snopes.
Yeah, there's sources inside of the Snopes article.
But like those
what are the sources? No. I'm not asking you for I'm literally only asking you.
Can I give a point?
No, I'm asking you questions right now. Don't pivot to something new. All right, I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. All right, shut up. In late September 2024, excuse me. Thank you. Jen, will you make sure he stays muted? In late September 2024, conspiracy theorist Candace Owens asserted that she had made an incredible discovery. In her 2019 memoir, The Truths We Hold, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris published a photo of herself with a black-looking grandmother, that's in quotations, despite the fact that her grandmother had died. Owens claimed with a black-looking grandmother, that's in quotations, despite the fact that her grandmother had died. Owens claimed 4 years before Harris was born. Right? That's the one you're reading from Snopes? Here's what it says. This claim is demonstrably false. The evidence Owens used to suggest Harris's grandmother died in 1960 refers to a person born in a different year with a different last name. I wonder who said that earlier. Me. Owens, in her coverage of The Scoop, flooded the zone with additional questions about Harris's grandmother, suggesting that documents prove she married a man who was not Harris's grandfather. That was the crazy part. She's like, but this person that she's married to wasn't even Harris's grandfather. Yeah, that should have been your first clue that you got the wrong fucking person. Is that she wasn't married to the person she was supposed to be. You picked the wrong person.
Can I talk now?
Yeah, can you explain why Candace Owens chose somebody with the wrong birth year, the wrong last name, and the wrong husband, and is claiming that that's Kamala's grandmother?
I mean, I'll have to go look at all the birth certificates and find them.
Well, they're on that. Just scroll down, bud. They're right there. They've got it on Snopes. You can see they're right there, bud. Just scroll down. You can see it.
Like the official birth certificates are on the site.
But yeah,
they are, and the death certificate.
This is the birth certificate. I can look at if there's a death certificate.
You can't find a death certificate because it's been.
Well, just explain to me why. Just explain to me why this woman, who she claims is the grandmother, was the wrong age, had the wrong last name, and was married to the wrong person. How'd that happen?
Honestly,
because Candace Owens is lying to you. Because you guys won't fact check this. This is the thing, dude. You don't have to be this misinformed. You don't.
Well,
Stop believing people. Don't believe anybody. Don't believe me. Don't believe Candace
I
Owens. Don't believe
Snopes
MSNBC.
or Candace
Fact
Owens.
check things
I'm gonna
yourself.
fact check
Don't
it.
just believe somebody. Fact check it.
Well, it's because what incentive does Candace have?
Money. Money. That was her most successful video.
Oh, so you don't think she's gonna get defamation lawsuits against her if that's a lie?
No, because it's not defamation. The person she's defaming is dead.
No, Kamala.
She's not defaming. She's not defaming Kamala. And by the way, the press. And by the way, the press is protected. The press, excuse me, the press can print things that aren't true. The press can go on a podcast and say things that aren't true. In order to prove in order to prove defamation, you have to show that it was intentional, that they knew that it was wrong, and that they meant to inflict harm. It's a pretty impossible standard to make when it comes from the media. And Candace Owens knows that.
So you think Candace is not doing it maliciously?
I think she's 100% doing it. I think 100% she's doing it for clicks.
So just for clout. So her and Judge...
No, not clout, money. No, not clout, money.
Well,
clicks equal money. Clicks equal money. She's doing it for money.
Clicks are clout.
No, you get paid. You get paid.
Yeah, okay. But you're saying that these fact-checking websites are that's just the truth. And
no,
they've
I haven't said that once. In fact, like multiple times. See, brother, shut up. Listen, Los, stop. You're right. Like, you're just ignoring everything I say and then making completely new made-up arguments. What I've said is, listen, Los, listen. It's time to listen. It's time to listen, Los. Listen.
You've been talking this whole fucking time.
I know, because I've been debunking all of your shit. So listen, I'm going to help you out here. If you go to Snopes and Snopes says, we fact-checked this and it's wrong, you shouldn't believe them.
So
but if you go, hold on. That's not the end. But if you go to Snopes and Snopes says, we fact-checked them, they're wrong, and here's all the evidence, you should go look at all the evidence and then make the determination. But you didn't do that. You went to Snopes, you saw that they said she was wrong, and you determined excuse me. You determined before you ever did any research, you determined they lie.
Yeah, they lie about a lot of political shit.
You don't name one thing they've lied about.
They lied about ivermectin.
What about it?
They said it was a horse dewormer when they've been using it out of that. People were not using veterinary grade shit.
Snopes never said that they were. Snopes never said that they were. Want me to look it up? Watch. I actually bet Snopes agrees with you.
Okay.
So when I pull up this article and Snopes agrees with you, what are you gonna do?
I'll admit that I'm wrong and that I shouldn't have said that.
Okay.
I'm perfectly fine, like, admitting that I'm wrong. I'm not. I feel like the Democratic Party is the one that, like you were saying, that Trumpers and conservatives don't like to move off of their positions.
No, I said they don't like to research. I said they don't like to research, and you and the last guest have both confirmed that. You guys have been you've both been examples of people who don't do research, but you think that you're right.
I mean, I could beat you in the economic debate, but
I doubt it. But I honestly doubt it.
We already did this. You said you don't know nothing about economics last time we had the whole argument.
I doubt that happened.
Yeah, it did happen, and then you said you didn't even need to know about economics.
Okay, well, it turns out that it turns out on the Joe Rogan fact check from Snopes that they said that it's not only used as a horse dewormer. So Snopes actually agreed with you.
Okay, so all the CNN and all the Democratic mainstream media just didn't care.
Yeah, well, the reason that story was going around is because people were buying. They were going to veterinary offices and they were buying, or vet like food supply places, and they were buying ivermectin to use on themselves. That's how the horse dewormer thing happened, because it is used as a horse dewormer. However, one thing I would like to ask you, Los, is all of the people that you listened to who said ivermectin was an effective treatment for COVID, how many of them have come out now that we have multiple double-blind studies saying it is not an effective treatment? In fact, it is more harmful. Like, it's it's not going to do significant harm. Most people are going to be fine. But there is no benefit of ivermectin when it comes to COVID, but there are potential side effects. So how many of those people that you listen to have come out now and said, you know what, it turns out I was wrong about ivermectin? Has Joe Rogan done that? Has Jordan Peterson done that? Has Candace Owens done that? Has Charlie Kirk done that? Have any of them done that, or have they all just went quiet?
Came out and said they were wrong about ivermectin?
Yeah. How many of them have come out and said they were wrong about ivermectin now that we have the studies?
What were they wrong about?
It has no impact on treating COVID. And they said that you should use that it was effective. Joe Rogan on his episode, and that other doctor, I forget his name, the quack that lives in like Kentucky. Malone. They all said it was an effective treatment, but it's not. Have you seen them retract?
Wasn't he in charge
Have you seen them retract? Have they retracted that?
Content. Maybe they have. I have not seen the retractions.
I haven't either. Weird.
But you think it was justified to censor people's accounts just because they were talking about veterinary grade ivermectin?
Yep.
Why? You don't think
because these are
we're not children.
Do you want the answer, or do you want to tell me what my answer is?
I'm just making the point.
Well, don't ask why and then keep talking. Why is because these are public. These are many times, mostly publicly traded companies, but they're also private companies, and they can censor whatever information they want. And the U.S. government should not be able to come in and tell a private company you can't censor this information. But that's what you guys want. Somehow you guys want the government to tell private companies that they're not allowed to censor information.
So the Twitter files prove that private companies are not being coerced by the FBI? Because they were meeting every Tuesday.
What?
They were meeting with the Twitter executives, with the Twitter security executive of the content that's on Twitter.
Why can't the Twitter executives meet with the FBI?
Because that's a public and private partnership. That's
you can have that.
Of speech.
It's not. Wait, excuse me. It is.
If that's basically
the FBI meeting. The FBI meeting with a social media company is against the First Amendment.
Telling them to censor on their behalf. It is.
There's only one time the government directly told them to censor something. Only one.
Okay, that's fucking one too many.
Okay, well, that one too many was when Donald Trump demanded that Twitter take down a tweet where Chrissy Teigen called him a pussy-ass bitch. So maybe you should vote for Harris because your guy's Excuse me. I know you're going to get upset right now. I know, but let me finish the point. If you want to be upset about censorship, talk to Donald Trump, who also runs a social media company who censors information that's critical of him. You might want to talk to Elon Musk, who censors information critical of him or critical of Donald Trump. The crazy thing about you guys is you've been fed this thing about social media, and you've been led to believe that you're the good guys and they're the bad guys, to the point that when the people that you're voting for are doing the exact thing that they falsely accused the social media companies of doing this, they're all doing it right in front of your faces, and none of you know, and none of you care. That's why I don't think it's your real position. Because they're censoring shit all the time. Elon Musk removed a community note from his own tweet where he was lying. Just removed it.
Okay.
You don't care about censorship. You're voting for the censorship group.
And that has nothing to do with politics. So Trump.
Yes, it did. If you're censoring information that is critical of Trump, you're saying that's not political?
But that's his platform. Trump didn't pay him money.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, no shit. It's their platform. They can do whatever they want, right?
But Trump wasn't meeting with him every Tuesday. They can do whatever they want,
right?
But he wasn't meeting with him every Tuesday to discuss.
They're campaigning together. They're on the campaign trail together.
Okay, on that note, I think that Elon Musk shouldn't even be a part of the campaign because Christians shouldn't be supporting Trump. If Trump supports Elon, if he wore that Baphomet shit and making fun of Christianity with the upside down cross, then we should. All Christians.
Did they tease your religion? Did they tease your religion?
Yeah, that's
toughen up,
serious.
Bud. Toughen. No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
If I believed in witches and wizards and that I could go to Hogwarts and you made fun of me for that, that would be fine.
So you're comparing,
it's fine. Toughen up, bud.
You're comparing Christianity with witches and wizards?
Yes, they're both made up stories.
But
that
you
have
don't
no
think that
basis in
that they
reality.
deserve respect?
You can respect them, but you can still make fun of it. That's part of free speech, bud.
Yeah, I never said restrict Elon from wearing anything. He can wear whatever he
No, but
wants.
you want people to get rid of him.
Christians should be vigilant to not just because Kamala said that stuff about Jesus Christ.
She's a Christian.
Okay,
She goes to church.
But she supports abortions and gays.
Where? Yeah.
That's against the Bible.
No, it's not.
But she is no Christian.
Wait, excuse me. Supporting laws that protect abortion and the rights to gay marriage. Neither of those are in the Bible.
What? I never said to restrict those things.
Well, she's not getting an abortion and she's not gay, so she's not doing those things. She's supporting those things, right?
She promotes them.
She's supporting them or promoting them. Is promoting them against the Bible?
I have plenty of gay friends.
Is promoting them against the Bible?
Promoting them against, yeah. You should be trying to correct them. Yeah.
Where's that in the Bible? Show me where that is in the Bible.
A man and a woman and a man should not lie together.
Yeah, but that doesn't. She's lying with a man. She's heterosexual.
Okay, she's lying. She's lying with a white man, and then she's telling black people that they shouldn't vote for a white man. That's what Obama did.
She's saying a specific
Obama
white man.
She's listen.
Her running. Listen. Her listen.
Hey, you can't.
Listen.
You should vote
her
for the
running
black
mate.
Woman.
Her running mate blows. This is
brothers.
dumb. Her running mate is white. She's literally telling everybody to vote for a white man.
Yeah, they had to pick that white one because they were losing so much support with all the white men.
Los, I know that. Listen, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know why you think. I don't know why you think white people are so great, but we've caused a lot of problems in this world.
Great.
Okay?
White people have a track record in history of
of genocide and of imperialism.
Also, the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire didn't do that.
Of murder.
And the Chinese didn't do that. And the Tsar of Russia didn't do that.
Of misogyny. Yeah, we have a history of being pretty shitty across the world.
So Africans in Africa,
specifically those of us whites who are Christian, specifically the Christian whites, have a bad reputation.
But like, you're just trying to throw all white people in the same bucket.
No, you did that. You did that. You said white people have a good track record.
Yeah, they do. They started Western civilization.
Western civilization has killed a lot of people, my friend. A lot of innocent people have died because of Western civilization.
Okay, and the Ottoman Empire killed a lot of people. Chinese Empire killed a lot of people.
And I also wouldn't say, but I wouldn't say that the Ottoman Empire has a good.
Point now?
Excuse me. My point is, you said that white people have a good track record. I'm not claiming that the Ottoman Empire has a good track record.
They created the greatest nation known to man through free markets and capitalism. Yeah.
So then it's okay to kill people as long as that's in the Bible too. You can kill people so long as you create a thriving economy with free markets. That's my favorite Bible verse.
Yeah, that's not in the Bible, actually.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, and weird that you, the Christian, doesn't seem to have a lot of problems with like the cruelty cast on people by Christians, but you do like the free market. As a Christian, you kind of justify all these horrific things because of the free market.
Private property in the free market, to be
exact. I know, and neither one of those are in the Bible. In fact, the Bible specifically the New Testament looks an awful lot like socialism and very little like free market capitalism.
Socialism is like the stupidest ideology. Marxism is a simple rudimentary understanding of economics.
What's socialism?
Socialism is the collective ownership of the means of production.
Okay,
and
when Jesus told people that they should get rid of all their belongings and because everything belonged to God, not to worry about money, when he went in and overturned the money. Excuse me. When he went in and he overturned the money exchangers tables and he consistently preached against wealth. He said it's easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than a rich person to get to heaven. And you think he was preaching free market capitalism?
Private property is in the Bible because thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not steal. You can't steal something that's not yours. That implies private property.
You can have private property in socialism.
Second,
you can have excuse me. I said free markets. You can have private property in socialism.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
You can have personal property. You must not know your own Marxism.
Yeah, yeah. You were talking about personal property. Thou shalt not steal is
No,
talking
I'm
about
talking
personal
about private
property.
property.
Wait, but you were talking about stealing.
I'm not doing commie talk. I'm
You
talking
were
about
talking
personal
about
property.
stealing. How could you steal somebody's private property then? If you're talking about land, how could you
You go
steal?
and you take it from them. What do you?
Okay,
mean?
well, you
That's
can't
how
do that. And
steal.
socialism doesn't mean that you go and you loot, that people come and they confiscate your land. You can have private ownership of land under socialism.
Oh, is that they allowed that in Russia's socialism?
I said
under
you
Lenin?
can. I said you can.
Okay, in which socialist system did they allow private property?
Is Russia socialist now?
No, but it was.
Well, then how come they don't
before
have private?
1991.
Then why can't you own your house in Russia? Why does the
You
government
can't.
still
They
own
have
it?
they have a mixed economy just like ours.
So it's almost like socialism allows you to have private property then.
We have socialism,
But only
in
Russia's case, only
We
if you're
have-
rich though. Only if
we
you're
have
rich in Russia.
We have socialism. It's called the public sector. Do you know the difference between ownership and control?
Yeah.
What is
One's ownership
I
and
mean-
one is control.
Like, why do you actually have like genuine conversations with people, or?
I've been talking to you forever. What do you want me to do?
No, but,
this
like,
is
you're just
nonsense.
very
This is
disingenuous,
I'm
like-
laughing. I'm laughing because this is so stupid. Like,
How
and this
is
is
it
what
dumb?
this is what I've been saying about this whole, like, everything that you know is just something somebody has told you that you're repeating.
Oh yeah,
You've done no
so
research
I
on
didn't-
any of
I
this.
read Ludwig von Mises. I read Hayek. I read Milton Friedman. I read Murray
Sure you did.
Rothbard.
Sure you did.
Okay,
I don't
quiz
believe
me.
you. I really don't.
Quiz me.
I don't
Quiz
believe.
me.
I don't believe you.
The Federal Reserve was started in 1913. Bretton Woods Act was 1944.
What does that have to do with anything that we're talking
That
about?
has
Now
to
you're
do
just
with the
naming off
monetary-
stats. Now you're
That
just
has to
naming
do with
stats.
monetary policy. That has to do with monetary history. 1970s Nixon shock was the worst thing that happened to the U.S. economy, and that is socialism. Because when
I can't listen to him anymore. He's just gonna start like reading off Wikipedia now. Good job, Los. Let me read some messages. Thanks, everybody in the box. Let me read some messages here. I'm gonna do a little capitalism. Sal says, "I want you to put me first, right in front for you." Thank you. Lelena, please ask Los if Trump is white or German. Yeah, he would say Germans are white. Sorry, guys. I should have checked these while he was up there. Jessica says, I'm a pagan and I'm closer to Jesus' teachings than these Christians. It's not hard. Most Christians in America, conservative ones, they're not close to his teachings. Vacuum MAGA Karen, he's definitely in the closet. I don't know about that, but he definitely is racist. Kristen says, how much to drop this guy who is obsessed with Dean and Parker? He's trying to set you up for clips with his questions. Oh, was that the first guy? Listen, I'm not afraid of being set up. I'm really not. Like, they don't have the answers. What's worse than having a wiener drawn in your forehead, on your forehead, finding out it was traced? Thanks, Kimmy. Adrian says, Big Boat is chirping in the chat. He went full-blown rude MAGA sycophant mode on another live the other day. He has learned absolutely nothing. He's no longer cool. Sorry, Big Boat. You're not cool anymore. That's not surprising. He doesn't want it. He's just trying so hard to be wrong. Betsy says, have you seen Mehdi Hassan's message to third-party voters? I haven't. Send that to me. I'd love to see it. Liv says, Trail of Tears, we unalive 90% of Native America. Yeah, good white Christians. Katrina says, thank you for 16 seconds from the eighth wife. You're very welcome. Two more, guys, then we're there. Jessica says, pendejos for Trump. And Michael says, Trump Rogan Friday. Oh, is Donald Trump finally doing or Rogan finally caved? He's such a fucking sellout. What a fucking sellout Rogan is. Go back and look at everybody who asked him why he wouldn't have Donald Trump on. And now he's just completely sold out to him. All right. I think it's Nostress. What's going on here? Oh, puzzle piece. Hold on. There we go. Nostress, are you not here anymore? Maybe it's no stress. Maybe that's what that's supposed to be. All right. Sorry about that. No stress. Jen, do you know who's next? Sync TV. Sync. I don't see Sync. They're gone. Teddy X was next. Teddy. What's up, Teddy?
Hello.
Hey.
So, I've been following you for a while. You're a pretty good debater. I've really enjoyed your stuff.
Thanks.
I'm voting for Trump, though.
Aw. That sucks.
That's probably. Thank you for saying thanks. No,
Sorry, I
I'm
need to
just
read one
kidding,
more
sorry.
message real quick. I missed one. Jumar says for
Sure.
the Uber for MAGA, Sharon going to the hood. And then Beige Rage says guest definitely uses the N-word hard R. Oof. All right. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. Hey, I was just wondering, did you happen to catch that stuff that Kevin O'Leary was saying about tariffs?
I saw something last week. Clearly, Kevin O'Leary still doesn't know much about tariffs.
Well, no, I think it was actually a couple of days ago, but he was explaining, how tariffs work, and he was given the good Trump explanation on it. And I guess this is what I'm trying to figure out, if your side maybe really understands what Trump says when he's saying tariffs, and I'll just give you the take, is that it's a negotiating tactic. It doesn't. I think you guys think everything happens in a vacuum when you say, hey, tariffs are just going to cost everybody money. And what it is most of it is either to help out our businesses here and maybe bring the business back so that the money stays in the U.S., and or it's negotiating better deals with China, because
How come it
the thing
requires
Kevin O'Leary was saying,
How come it requires Kevin O'Leary and all these other MAGAs to explain that? How come Trump can't explain that?
but Kevin O'Leary actually doesn't claim to be MAGA. In fact,
He's MAGA.
he
I don't
claims
care
to
what
be
he.
neither
I don't
side.
care what he. I don't care what he claims. He's literally He's been campaigning for Trump for a year. He's just a coward.
He hasn't been campaigning for it.
But wait, the question was
Actually,
how
I've heard
come? The question was how come Trump is never the one explaining all of this? How come it's always like someone else trying to make sense of what he says? Is it possible that Trump's just dumb and that he actually doesn't understand this, and that you guys hope that
No,
that's what he
actually,
means? Because Trump has never said
I
any of
don't.
this.
Well, he has explained tariffs, and he says, basically
says the
we're
other
getting ripped
countries
off, and I
pay
know
for
he's
them.
very general about it.
He
But
doesn't
if
even.
you notice,
he thinks
yeah,
other
but look at
countries
Trump
pay
by
for
what
them.
He does.
He thinks.
But look at
he
Trump by his
thinks.
actions. Okay?
Excuse me. He thinks other countries pay them. The problem that we have here, and this is what I'm trying to get at, is you guys all come up and you defend Trump's tariffs, and Kevin O'Leary does, and you pretend that Trump is saying what you're saying. He's not. Trump doesn't understand tariffs, and if he did, he would make sense. The fact that you guys have to keep explaining what he actually means tells you that he's not an effective. He's either just a terrible communicator or he doesn't know what they mean.
Well, let me give you my take on that then too. He did institute tariffs that are actually still in effect, which means that Biden and Harris must have understood them as well too, because they never got rid of them.
Nobody's
In fact,
anti-tariff.
they even added some.
But nobody's
Okay,
anti-tariff.
I get it, but so judge Trump by his actions more than by what he
$80
said.
billion the last tariffs cost us. He had to pay an $80 billion, paid it out to the farmers because he started a trade war with China that everybody saw coming. And they're like, hey, if you do this with China, it's going to fuck up our
What was the
farmers.
revenue
And he
side
did
of
it,
the
and he
tariff?
did it anyways. And it cost us $80 billion.
Well, what was the revenue side of that? And I'm asking because I really don't specifically know, because
What do you mean, what
obviously
was the
some
revenue
came in.
side
It's
of
not
that?
like nothing came in.
There was no revenue.
obviously
The
the-
farmers couldn't sell their goods.
No,
This isn't. America is not a business, right? So if farmers lose their business, but America brings in this amount in taxes, it's not like it's even. It's not a business. American
get it. Okay,
farmers
but let me-
lost their farms. They lost their ability to make money.
Okay, and by the way, Trump did actually do a good job explaining his side. I happen to just recall. I'm not in front of a computer or anything, but
I can pull it up.
basically, do you remember hearing what Trump said about when Macron was going to put a tariff on the U.S. and I forget exactly what it was for, but Trump basically said, okay, I'm going to put 100% tariff on any wine coming in, and Macron 100% backed down on that. So to me, isn't that a really good explanation that Trump actually personally said?
No,
Why? It
because
shows effectiveness
he
of what-
still said he was gonna. Yeah, because he's out here right now saying that countries pay tariffs. Why don't you?
No.
How come we can't take the words that he's saying now? Why do you always need like? Well, previously he said this, and this appears like he knew. Why doesn't he say it now? Why is he? So is he just lying for fun? Is he dumb or is he lying?
Not lying.
Do other countries pay tariffs? Do other countries pay? No, brother. I know you're making the rounds. Here, you answer questions. Okay? Do other countries pay tariffs?
You mean pay to us, or do they pay? Honestly, I'm going to answer that. I honestly don't know. I'm going to say probably yes.
Well, why are you debating? No, listen.
Actually, I do know one.
Listen,
I do know one.
Now, no. You don't get not a redo here. No.
Okay.
Never in the history of the world has another country paid us a tariff. That's not how they work, which is what I claimed at the beginning, that Trump doesn't know how they work. And you don't know either. Apparently, none of you know how tariffs work.
Well, it's actually in the form of things like aviation fuel, which I do know something about. But ask Japan if they've ever paid a tariff.
Tariffs? Excuse me. Tariffs are in the form of aviation fuel? Can you explain that, please?
Well, it's not in the form of it. It's in the form of how it gets sold here to other countries. And it has to do with something, which I'm not going to go in and explain. But
no, I need you to explain. I need you to explain that, because you didn't know what tariffs were 2 seconds ago. And now you're saying that we get tariffs in the form of aviation fuel.
No, you asked if somebody pays them. That's what you said.
No, I asked if the other country pays the tariff.
Yes, they do.
In the form of aviation fuel?
Airline travel that comes here when they're buying fuel from us, and they pay a fee.
That's not a tariff.
And it's not really on the fuel.
That's not a tariff.
I'm telling you how
it's just a fuel tax.
I'm telling you in the form of it.
That's just a fuel tax. That exists. That's not the same thing.
What is a tariff? Is a tariff a tax?
A tariff is a. Excuse me?
Yes. Is a tariff considered a tax?
Do you want me to finish the answer, or do you just want to?
Go ahead.
Yeah, tariff. Yeah, a tariff is a tax that is paid by who?
Depends on who it's put on.
No, it doesn't depend. It's always the same person.
If it's put on another country, the other country's paying. If it's something that's put on, try
again. Who pays the tariff?
If you're talking about, okay, I know where you're going, or I'm assuming where you're going is if you're saying we get
the fucking company who goes and picks up their goods, they pay the tariff. This is not that hard.
Yes.
Okay, so do other countries pay the tariff? Do other countries pay the tariff? Do other countries pay the tariff?
Yes, in one form or another, they do.
How?
It's passed on to the consumer.
The consumers are also American.
Okay, but it happens that way.
So an American company pays a tariff and passes it along to the consumer, who is also American. Where's this other country paying the tariff? Where's the other country paying the tariff?
But, my point here on this
whole thing, I don't care about your point. Answer my fucking question. There's people in the box. You have to answer questions here. Sorry. You don't get to monologue and say whatever you want. If the company pays the tariff and they pass it along to the American consumer, how is the country that it came from paying the tariff? Just say they're not.
No, I'm saying
don't be the guy. Don't be the guy that comes up here and defends nonsense that Trump is saying. Just say they're not. Trump's wrong.
No,
he doesn't understand it,
and
you didn't understand it until about 3 minutes ago when I explained it to you.
Back up. No, back up just a moment here. My understanding was you were saying, if you were saying yes on how it comes to Americans on American goods, if we put a tariff on it, yes, I agree with you 100%. But it works both ways. That was my point.
No, it doesn't. You keep saying that, and I keep saying, how does the other country pay the tariff? Explain it.
It's a tariff it's a tax on foreign goods coming to the country,
and
if it's a good that can't be had,
and who pays it? And who pays it?
Yeah, and it'll get passed along there, but also works the other way too.
So how does the other country pay the tariff? So does the other country pay the tariff? Excuse me. Does the other country pay the tariff? I know it's frustrating, but you don't know what you're talking about.
It depends.
No, it doesn't.
If they
it
put
never depends.
On our goods
it's always us.
Yes, they do.
Okay, give me an example of a time. Give me an example of a time when another country paid for the tariffs in our country.
I don't have one because I'm not in front of a computer.
Okay, give me a hypothetical way that would happen. Hypothetically, how would that happen?
It would work the same way as us if they're going to tariff our goods going into another country. Okay.
Then if it's only a good. Wait, but then it's their companies and their consumers that pay the tariff.
But you're missing the point here. The point is tariffs are used
No,
as a negotiating tactic.
You're ignoring the point.
Yes, they
the
are.
point is Trump doesn't know how they work, and you don't know how they work.
I brought up the points. I'm the one that
you
brought up the
points,
points. So.
but you didn't know that a tariff here in America is paid by Americans, and Trump doesn't seem to know
that because
and Trump doesn't seem to know that either.
Yes, he does.
Then why does
Trump
he keep
is a
saying other
negotiator.
countries are paying our tariffs?
What's that?
Then why does he keep saying other countries pay it?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't hear him say that, but I'll take your word if he did say it.
That's all he says. Go find me a clip where he doesn't say that.
Well, let me just say this. Trump
No.
understands the idea of
Listen. My show's different. I'm an asshole here, and I'm gonna own it. What you don't get to do on this show is when you're stumped, pivot to something else. We can stay on tariffs, or you can admit that Donald Trump doesn't know what a tariff is.
My God, dude, have you ever? I assume you had some informal logic classes and understand.
Awesome. So back to the tariffs. Back to the tariffs
Yes.
here. I know you want to deflect right now. I know. And listen, I have this sneaking suspicion that you are somebody who is paid to do this job because you guys all talk the exact same way. You pretend you're middle of the road. But when we get stuck on something that you don't understand and you don't want to admit, you try and move the subject. So again, I need you to explain to me why all these people have to come out and explain tariffs in a way that's different than how Trump explains them, because Trump says other countries pay the tariffs, and then these people come out and they're like, well, he doesn't really mean that. Okay, well then why does he say it?
I didn't hear him say what you said. I admitted that, but here's the thing. I really wish I was getting paid for that.
Go listen to him and come back then. I'm not interested in this argument if you've never heard him say it, you don't know what he's saying. Okay. What are you doing in this discussion?
Can I finish a point and then I'll let you respond?
If the point has to do with tariffs, you can. If the point does not have to do with tariffs, I'm going to cut you off.
I'm going to say to what end? To what end if you say that tariffs are only going to cost Americans money?
I've never said that. Now this is called a straw man. Now you're straw manning an argument that I didn't make to try and avoid talking about this. I'm not against tariffs. I'm not against tariffs, but American citizens pay the tariffs. And if you are a person who is proposing massive tariffs and you don't understand that Americans pay that tariffs, then I've got issues with your plan because you didn't even think about the fact that Americans are going to pay it. Tariffs are fine. I'm cool with tariffs. In fact, the tariffs on Chinese auto manufacturing, I'm good with. I'm fine with tariffs. I understand that if I buy an electric vehicle from China, there potentially could be 100% tariff on that. Good. And if I want to buy it, I'm going to pay the tariff. But I know what's going on. I know it's me that pays it.
I get that. But to the end point isn't it better that if they're doing an unfair business trade to get the business back in this country is my point. And I understand, if you're partially for tariffs, but your side, and if I'm falsely accusing you, I absolutely apologize. But most of your side is saying we can't have tariffs because it's going to cost.
Nobody's saying that. Literally, nobody is saying that. Nobody. Well, nobody's saying that. This is a straw man. Who says that? Parker doesn't say that. No, he does. No, they don't. I've talked to both of them. Neither Parker nor Deans are anti-tariff. They're anti-specific tariffs. Both Parker and Dean were going to vote for Biden, and both are going to vote for Harris. And there are active tariffs by both of them. In fact, Biden is advocating for new tariffs. You're just creating an argument to make your argument not seem so dumb.
No, my point being is I actually
I can go get Parker or Dean. Somebody can go get Parker and Dean. They can come here and tell you if they believe that. But I think you're creating a straw man to get out of this argument.
No, I'm really not. Actually, my point was to tie into another point was basically to what end. And like I said, I apologize if I misunderstood you, but from what I'd been hearing from most of your side is that, Trump's going to say tariffs, put on tariffs, and that's just going to, and I know they say across the board tariffs, and understandably, they're not going to happen across the board.
Okay, so we just, another instance where Trump says something, and we just have to pretend that him saying something crazy is fine.
My point is...
Please. If we can't agree on this, the question I've been asking this whole time is, if you and I are having a discussion on tariffs, this would be a different discussion. But we're talking about Trump. And every time Trump says something crazy, you guys just pretend he didn't. And you're like, that's not really how it works. Like, Trump is the only politician in the history, or in my lifetime, that is allowed to just say dumb shit all the time. with no consequences, because you guys go,
Wait.
you know what he really meant.
Wait, what are you pivoting to right now? I don't understand.
This is what the conversation's been the whole time. This is not a pivot.
Okay.
The problem is Trump doesn't understand tariffs. So if Trump is going to create an economic plan that includes tariffs, I've got questions because he doesn't seem to understand how they work.
Well, that's fine. If you say he's got questions, I would completely agree with you on that. Ask the questions.
I've been asking you the questions, and you can't answer them either.
My question is, how do you actually get the manufacturing back in this country if you're dealing with places like China?
Do you know why it left?
Yeah, because it's an unfriendly tax environment.
What happened?
It's cheaper to do business because it's an unfriendly tax environment here, and our energy prices historically have been higher.
Is it taxes or is it wages?
It's both too. It's as
what
well
is
as
it
that
mostly?
Too.
What is it most? What is it mostly?
Well, wages, of course.
Wages, of course. Now, let's talk about. Hold on. Let's talk about the. Hold on. Excuse me. If we talk about the history of manufacturing right now, we're mostly talking about chips, right? Most of the manufacturing in the future is going to be chips. We started that here. We started the silicon chip here, right? And then it was becoming expensive. Why was it becoming expensive? Because of all the money that was being pushed into these tech companies. Through the dot-com bubble and even through now. And how did China get our secrets? How did they learn how to make our chips?
They stole it.
No. Try again.
Well, a lot of times they'll bring the business over there and then they'll basically copy it.
They paid these businesses. The problem has always been capitalism. The problem, if we're going to fix this problem, excuse me, is that not capitalism?
No, the problem is not capitalism.
Well, then explain to me how we went from these silicon chips, these microchip technology that's relatively inexpensive to make, and why did they wind up being made in China?
Well, actually, most of it comes from Taiwan.
And China. That's true. Why are they made in Taiwan and China?
They actually pay higher wages there and stuff
like that.
Why are
they made in Taiwan and China?
I tell you the truth, I'm sure it started as cheaper labor.
Because it's cheaper for companies here in the United States to buy it from over there.
Right. But again, it's because look at what you do to
capitalism, right?
What you do to
capitalism, right?
And the tax you
capitalism,
put on a business,
though, right?
What the tax
capitalism, though, right?
Earlier.
Capitalism, though, right? Isn't that capitalism? Okay, thank you. God damn it! Don't make me say things 50 times. Just if you want to have a real discussion, stay with me. But if I have to shout 20 times to get you to answer a question, we're gonna have a problem here. Okay, so capitalism, keep going.
Okay, I understand we're switching to capitalism now. I can talk about that. This country was built on capitalism.
No, we're not. What I'm saying is you're misidentifying. If you don't know what happened, if you don't know why we have a problem, then you can't fix it.
Well, dude, especially because I'm a business owner and I have been doing this for most of my life.
You've been manufacturing microchips your whole life?
No, but I understand how business works and I understand costs.
I've owned 5 businesses, and it doesn't mean that I understand microchip technology.
Okay,
now you're relying on some of the dumbest people I know are business owners. There's smart and dumb people that own businesses, even successful ones, smart and dumb. This was a problem with capitalism. That's what this was. Can't hear. You're breaking up, bud.
Dude, you don't have the same capitalism.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Sorry, you don't have the same kind of capitalism that.
You're breaking up still. Sorry, brother. You're gonna have to switch off the Wi-Fi or something.
Can you hear me now?
Keep going. That last part was clear.
Okay. How about is this a little bit better?
That's better. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. The piece is we don't have the same kind of capitalism that we had years ago. We have taxed it to death in this country. And by taxing it as heavily as we have...
Wait, excuse me. Taxes have been dropped. Wait, excuse me. Taxes have been precipitously dropping the last 50 years. What are you talking about?
Well, and that's actually good. Not the past 50 years they haven't. No, they're not.
What were taxes? Yeah, they were.
Well, I guess if you go back to right after Reagan, yeah, they did. But and then we're starting to raise it again now too.
But explain to me how we're taxing it to death while lowering taxes.
Because all taxes on businesses gets passed on to the consumer. So what do they do?
We're lowering taxes.
Yeah, but then your side is also talking about, making, these businesses, millionaires, billionaires, which their money comes from business, making them pay their fair share. And you guys want to jack that up too.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Because of what? You know why? Because of wealth inequality. Because wealth inequality drives all the problems that we're seeing. Wealth inequality drives immigration. Wealth inequality drives crime. Wealth inequality drives homelessness.
Okay.
Wealth inequality drives addiction. Wealth inequality is behind all the problems that we're seeing right now. And the only way to solve wealth inequality is by using the only mechanism we have, our government, against the tyrannical billionaires who now are taking all of the money and building all of the wealth and causing all of these problems. Our only mechanism is the federal government taking some of that back.
Okay, and to my point is, to what end do you do this when all businesses leave? I mean,
where are they going to go?
Not all of them will leave.
Where are they going to go?
Oh, probably India.
Pick a company. Let's
China.
Pick a major. Let's pick a major corporation. Let's pick. Let's use one that we banned. Let's use Nvidia. How's things going for Nvidia now that they've left the U.S. market?
I don't know. I haven't been following them. I can tell you 3M
fell apart. Their company is in shambles because they don't have access to the U.S. market anymore.
Okay, that's also due to certain laws.
It's due to them not having access to the biggest economy in the world. That's what it's due to.
And
so where are these companies going to go? How are they going to exist without our customer base?
Oh, believe me, these other countries are growing leaps and bounds.
No, they're not. India, we're growing faster than all of them. China was like this big scare. We're still bigger than China. We're way bigger than Russia. In fact, post-COVID, we were the only one that had a positive GDP for like a year. We're outpacing all these. We're outpacing all these countries. They can't. You're misunderstanding leverage, my friend. We have the leverage, not them. You're just a cuck to the billionaires. You're like, they have all the leverage. No, they don't. We have the leverage. We have the consumer base. They can pay more in taxes.
Hey, I wasn't trying to insult you. You don't need to attack me like that. I was trying to be a nice guy. So.
What did I attack you about?
Well, calling me a cuck, that's,
you are a cuck. You're a cuck to billionaires. You're advocating for policies that directly are against your best interest.
If you go to ad hominem and tax, dude, you already lost. So.
All right, well, have a good day then. I'm sorry that you didn't like being called a cuck to the billionaires, but that's what you're doing here. You're cucking for billionaires.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your time, but I'm not cucking for them. Actually,
yes, you're saying that if we tax them, they'll leave the country, right?
No, I mean, not necessarily, but it can be true. And you can look at
where
companies like Honeywell and 3M and look where most of their manufacturing is.
Where are they going to go? Yeah, manufacturing. But where do we get our tax revenue? Do we get our tax revenue from their manufacturing?
Actually, most of the tax revenue comes from a very small percentage of the country, okay? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and that illustrates the problem with our country is that there's some people with so much money that even though they're being taxed at a much lower rate than the rest of us, the total amount is more than the total amount that a big percentage of us pay. That's an indicator that our economy is fucked, that it's too top heavy. It's not a good argument.
No, it's just been falsely propped up in so many different areas with taxes and loopholes and stuff like that.
Then explain to me how when we cut taxes, which we've done precipitously since Reagan, tax has been falling, tax rates have been falling, and wealth inequality is growing. How does that happen? It's almost like they don't trickle that money back down, do they?
Well, I don't. You know what? Right now, it's hard to say because post-COVID, I can't really tell you. I understand that a lot of that.
Look at pre-COVID. Look at the 40 years of economic numbers we've had before COVID. Was wealth inequality on the rise or was it falling?
Well, I would say actually during Trump's last term before COVID, wages were on the rise and individual
wealth inequality,
net household savings was actually growing.
Wealth inequality. Don't talk about other things. We're talking about wealth inequality.
It grew the biggest from the bailouts, so would you agree with that?
No, well, you're going to stick on this subject. What was wealth inequality doing the last 40 years pre-COVID? Was it rising or was it falling?
It was probably rising, but I
Probably
don't know
rising.
if that's an actual.
Yeah, it was rising, wasn't it?
I agree that I don't know enough about that.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the prop. That's why we have, and we know that economic indicators, things like homelessness, things like crime, things like drug use, all of those things follow wealth inequality. The bigger the gap of wealth inequality, the more we have these problems. And yet Republicans think that the answer somehow is cut taxes and get more police. We know what the problem is. We just can't get you guys to admit it because you're all cucking for billionaires, whether on purpose or not. But you probably don't mean to cuck for billionaires, but you are. You guys are doing the bidding for billionaires. They're sitting back laughing. Literally, you got Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and JD Vance on a stage. Billionaire, multi-billionaire, and tech VC multi-millionaire. And they're like, we know what's best for the everyday person. Cut taxes for us. And you guys are like, yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right. Let's listen to all these billionaires that want tax cuts.
If you cut taxes, would you at least agree that taxes on businesses gets passed on to the consumer? Is that a fair statement?
Not always.
For the most part, yes, it is. And
No, not always. Not if we're talking about income tax.
By cutting taxes for the
Income tax?
We're not talking about income tax. I was talking about business tax. That's what I thought we were talking about here.
Oh, corporate tax?
Yeah, corporate taxes, which
It's
gets
why.
passed
So then
on
you
to
need the
consumers.
government. So you need the government to levy price control, or not price control. Excuse me, anti-price gouging measures.
Which is
Which
Is it
is that
still
you
a form
can't
of price
gouge
control?
that you can't gouge Americans just
how
because you had a
subjective of
down
topic
quarter.
is that? But how subjective is that, and who is it going to be that you're going to go after on that? The ones that aren't supporting
It's tricky.
rate
It's
or
tricky.
what?
It's tricky.
Yeah.
But the other option is bend over and let the billionaires keep giving it to you. This is why I say you cuck for them. You're like, well, I can
No.
find some flaws in this. Therefore, the billionaires need to get all the money. You're
No, I don't.
arguing from this standpoint that you think billionaires need tax cuts. And like there's never been a law passed in the history of our country that I couldn't poke holes in. That's how it works. That's how a representative republic, a democracy, that's how it works.
Oh,
Right?
I totally
No
get
bill,
that. It does
no
benefit.
bill,
That's
no
why-
system is ever perfect. So all you're
Well,
doing
what
is
do you-
trying to pick holes in it so that you can continue to defend
Then hence,
billionaires
what-
getting a tax cut.
Then, hence, wouldn't it be better to have like more of a laissez-faire style of capitalism
No.
versus one that gets taxed
No.
with loopholes?
No.
Why? Oh, okay.
What you need to do is why wouldn't you just close the fucking loopholes? End Citizens
Okay.
United,
Then
close
why
the
not just do
loopholes.
that?
There's two
Then-
simple solutions. End Citizens United and close the loopholes.
would agree-
And
I
the
actually
one
would
thing
agree with
standing
that
in
one.
front of us is moderate Republicans or moderate Democrats and the entire Republican Party. If all
Well, I
of you
would
guys
say-
weren't
and-
allowed
and
to
give them
vote
lobbyists
if
too,
all
right?
of you weren't allowed to vote anymore, we would fix this stuff. But you guys stand in the way because
no.
you just cuck for billionaires.
If we were not allowed to vote for, what kind of a government is that? Jeez.
I bet that's
You
what
would
I'm
like
saying.
to
That's
take
why I
away
don't
the vote?
advocate for that. But it
Okay,
would be
all right.
nice if you guys stopped fucking everything up. We got 50 years of data on trickle down economics, and all your people are still being like, "Oh, it's gonna work. Just hold on, it's
still
gonna work."
works- it
The
still
problem
works-
with
hey, it
trickle
still
down
works
economics
better
is
than-
taxes, but the taxes are lower than pre trickle down economics, so that doesn't make
So-
any sense. You guys are all being lied to, and you just let it happen to you. You just
Well,
lay back and you're like, "Lie to me more, daddy."
No, let me ask you a question, and this is just a fair question. Do you lean more towards like socialist, communist, or what,
No, I
what is
believe
your
in a
view?
mixed economy. I don't believe either one of those is a good option. Just like I
fair.
don't
I
believe
was just curious.
laissez-faire capitalism, just like I don't like free market capitalism, I believe that you need checks because socialism, if unchecked, can get out of whack. Capitalism, if unchecked, can get out of whack. This is what's crazy. Capitalism, everybody agrees capitalism right now is out of whack. And yet, there are Republicans who are like, the one thing we can
Well,
do
not
to fix
everybody
this,
agrees.
our one check against capitalism is the government. We better not let the government interfere.
Well, no, that's where I think you get into trust busting and things like that. That's how you can handle that kind of stuff.
You can also do it with
going
you can also do it with a more fair tax structure.
Well, and I would agree with that too. And then if you're
That's what
talking
we're
about,
advocating for. We just want a more fair tax structure.
What about like a flat tax then? What would
It's
be- I'm
fucking
not trying
stupid.
to-
A flat tax, overly, especially now, given the wealth inequality that we have, overwhelmingly benefits the rich. Again, why are you so obsessed
really.
with cucking for them? Why are you so obsessed with protecting billionaires' money?
It has nothing to do with that.
That's okay. That is what you're doing. You're protecting. Your arguments only protect billionaires. I'm asking why. What evidence do you have that cutting taxes for billionaires is better for us?
Dude, I'm just the guy that was born in the Gen X generation.
And what evidence do you have that taxing billionaires is better for us?
That taxing. What evidence do I have?
Or that not taxing billionaires is better for us? What evidence is there?
Billionaires are the best investors in the world, and in fact, they don't just sit
okay,
on
but
their
they
money.
they just okay. But if you look at that, excuse me, I don't care about investment.
Answer,
I don't give a shit about investment because what they're able to do now is they have so much money they manipulate markets, and their wealth is expanding much faster than the wealth of everybody else. They have too much money, which equals too much power. So when you say they're the best investors, are they? Tell me about Sam. Tell me about Sam Bankman-Fried. Tell me about all the banks in America Tell me about all the banks. Excuse me. Tell me about all the banks in America pre-2008. Those were all the billionaires. Those were all the investors. They fucked the whole thing up.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one, though.
Okay, so we better let them have more. We better let them have more money because the reason they fucked it up was because they didn't have enough money.
You say, but here's the thing: that if you're talking about back in 08, that had to do with the housing crisis, and it was also came down to them making loans. They were forced to make loans to people that didn't pay the loan.
No, see, here's another. No, nobody. That's not what happened in 2008. And it's weird that you all have the same talking point. You're cucking for billionaires. What happened is they created these investments, and they said that they were AAA rated, that these were all people that had FICO scores and income, and they were AAA rated, and they filled those full of B and B plus. And they gave variable rate loans. They were not forced to do that. They were forced. They were forced to do that by their investors. Their investors liked the profits, and so they created a whole gambling system, and it failed. And because they don't want to admit that, because it's what they're still doing today, they tell you, "Oh, we were forced to take on these risky loans. We didn't want them." Bullshit. You're telling me the government forced them to take on risky loans?
You remember Barney Frank?
Barney Frank? Yeah, I remember Barney Frank.
Look him up and look about the things
you're talking about. Dodd-Frank. Explain how Dodd-Frank forced people. Yeah, I'm aware of Dodd-Frank. It didn't force banks to take on risky loans. How did Dodd-Frank force banks to take on risky loans?
You said Dodd-Frank. I said look up Barney Frank, okay?
Yeah, Barney Frank is part of... Jesus, do you not know what Dodd-Frank is?
Yes, I do.
Then
that's not what I was talking about.
What is it?
That's not what I was talking about. I don't remember right offhand.
So Barney Frank was just running... What were you talking about then? What are you talking about?
Well, I was talking about how he was pushing to have the DOJ sue banks that did not make loans to certain groups of people.
Yeah, based on race, not based on income and credit score. Because banks were taking specifically, banks were taking specific, this was his argument. Banks were specifically targeting black people with the same income and the same credit score, and they were giving them higher rates. They were giving higher rates to black neighborhoods despite them qualifying with the same credit score and the same income. And they said, you can't do that.
It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with credit score.
What?
That's where the subprime mortgages came from.
No, it didn't. Yes. No, if you don't know that banks were giving black people higher rates despite them having equal credit scores and income, then you need to do a little more research.
I don't know that one, and I might be wrong, but I don't know whether one necessarily equals another. My wife is black and everything too, so if she was buying a house in those days in a predominantly black neighborhood, her rate would have been higher than if she was buying in a predominantly white neighborhood. I think it was based on credit score, dude, but...
Well, you're wrong. You're wrong. And that's what I would say, too, if I was cucking for billionaires and didn't want to address reality. But you don't even know what happened in 2008. Like, you don't even know what caused the financial crisis. The reason it was a financial crisis is because virtually everybody's income was tied in to these investments, and these investments were bullshit. The ratings agencies were rating them AAA because they were obligated to, because the banks would take them to the other agency if they didn't. And then somehow they came out of this. These billionaires came out and they're like, really, this was the government's fault. And you're like, yeah, it was the government. Yeah, it was for sure the government.
No, I don't
think
for sure them. You're just
cucking for bankers now.
No, I don't think they should have got bailed out either, too, because what was that movie called? Was it called The Big Short? I don't remember what it was, but they'd explained it actually pretty detailed, pretty well.
If you watch
But,
The Big Short and you don't understand that The Big Short, 80% of that movie is them explaining these investments.
That's why I brought it up, dude.
Then why did you tell me that it wasn't about these investments?
Well,
You told me that what part of The Big Short says that the housing collapse was due to giving black people bad loans?
Subprime mortgages. They said it was based on subprime mortgages, dude.
Yes, and those
both would agree on
subprime
that.
mortgages were included in these investments, and they were rated AAA, but the subprime mortgage was like a B or a B plus. And so when those subprime mortgages fell, it didn't just hurt the homeowner, it didn't just hurt the local economy, it took out the entire economy. In fact, the world economy, because so many people were invested in these bullshit investments.
I agree. So Mr. Wizard, explain to me where we got the subprime mortgages from.
What do you mean, where did we get subprime mortgages? From banks.
Yeah, and for what reason, which comes back to what I said before.
Because banks wanted to give out subprime loans.
No, they were forced to. That is actually an absolute fact truth.
You think Dodd-Frank forced banks to give out subprime loans?
No, it was a lot of the rhetoric that was going behind the
scenes.
scenes.
It was rhetoric. It was rhetoric.
No,
so it wasn't
it was
the
also
law.
some laws, and it was a threat.
They saw something on MSNBC, and they're like,
said,
"Well, we better do it."
The difference, though, too, is where I will agree with you is that the banks did, when they rated investments, when they were giving them the AAA bond rating, that
banks
was wrong.
Don't rate those.
So I completely
banks don't rate those. Banks don't rate.
Okay, Moody's, whoever. Okay, so
yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, but they were also lobbied to, and so yeah, I understand
by the banks.
I'm giving you the details
by
basically
the banks.
behind the scenes on this whole thing.
By the banks. This was capitalism, not the government.
Can you tell me any other market that has grown at the rate it has based on not being capitalistic?
I don't have a problem with capitalism, but when it's unchecked, there can be problems. You guys you're acting like capitalism is just perfect all the time. No, it needs to be checked.
Then go ahead and use antitrust laws to take care of the billionaires. Why do you have to do all these other things that'll
tax them? Why do we have to tax them appropriately?
Over?
Because antitrust laws won't bring in tax revenue. Because not everybody has broken antitrust laws.
So you want the tax money, is what you're saying?
Yes. No, we can't. It will. What happens if we raise taxes? If we raise the corporate tax by 3%, what are you saying is going to happen?
They're going to raise whatever. If it's a manufacturer, they're going to raise the cost of their goods and services by 3%, maybe more. Who knows?
And do you have any empirical data that says that'll happen?
Example of Kamala.
Do you have any data that says that'll happen?
20 grand.
Do you have any data that says that'll happen?
Well, just anecdotal.
Yeah, anecdotally, Trump dropped their tax rate and they raised prices.
Are you talking about post-COVID?
When Donald Trump's tax cut went into place, did corporations lower their prices?
Actually, a lot of goods and services did come down lower, even the cost of...
Which goods and services came down after the tax cuts?
I'll even say just eggs. How about that? Price
eggs
of eggs
came down after the tax cuts?
Yes, in every which way, form, and everything, yes.
There's only one way for the price to come down, but...
No, there's multiple, actually. Cost of energy prices.
No, you can only go down or up is what I was saying. All right, so tax cuts went into place in 2018, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not in front of a computer, so all this stuff I'm talking about is from my memory, which might be faulty, who knows.
Yeah, and we had a pretty natural flow of eggs. It went down. Naturally, the price of eggs since 2004 has just been going like this. And most of the time, that dip isn't tied to a tax cut. In fact, all of the time, except for this one time under Trump, where we're going to say it was because of the tax cut.
Okay, but no, let me give you an example. Just follow me for a moment. The energy prices being as low as they can, and if you adjust it for inflation,
That's
they were the
nothing to
lowest
do with
under Trump.
taxes. That's nothing to do with
Listen,
taxes.
no.
We're talking about taxes, please.
If you're gonna tax billionaire corporations, like you said, where do you think the price of things will go up?
Not
They're
energy.
gonna-
It wouldn't
Sure,
necessarily go up to
absolutely
energy.
will.
Why?
Oh yes, it will. If you're gonna go
Why?
after oil companies and make them pay more, you don't think that's gonna raise the price of?
They raise the
fuel?
prices they raise the prices no matter what.
Well, that's also due to speculation as well too. So that might.
Yeah,
not
but
be
they raise the
entirely-
price. Is the price of oil up or down since Reagan?
Well, it's up.
It's way up, right? But that's when we started cutting tax rates. The point is, like, you're arguing this point as if I'm saying socialism versus capitalism. I'm pointing out parts of our markets that aren't working and parts of our markets where we could make changes, and you're just like, no, we can't ever make changes.
We might be talking semantics, so maybe I'm misunderstanding you here. But
We're not talking semantics, brother. 3% corporate tax rate is not going to drive inflation. It's not. In fact, most economists have looked at that and they've said, yeah, it'll actually steady inflation, and the middle class will do better.
How will that steady inflation? I mean, really, you're going to
Because if the middle class because wealth inequality drives inflation, dude. And if you lower wealth inequality, you steady inflation.
Let's cut the government spending by 3%. What would that do?
Okay, cool, but your party's not going to do that.
Well, I actually kind of have a hunch that they are going to. In fact,
Trump said that the last time he got elected and he didn't do it, did he?
Well,
and Republicans have been saying that. Republicans have been saying that since Ronald Reagan, and all they do is expand. So until one of them shows that they're going to do it, I'm just going to go ahead and not believe them.
I would. Okay, let me say in point, I can agree to
Voting
that.
on a hunch?
Well, I don't, because it has to do with most presidents get their agenda done in second terms. Would you agree with that?
No.
Or they try to?
No.
They try to.
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say they do.
Well, you're
because they
wrong.
don't have to
Wait, but
worry
you're
about
wrong.
getting
Presidents
elected.
get their agenda done when they control the House and the Senate, which Donald
Well, that is
Trump
also
did,
true as well,
which Donald
too.
Trump had for 2 years, and he didn't do any of this. He could have cut whatever he wanted in those 2 years, and instead all he did was cut taxes for rich people.
Okay. Well, here's the thing.
Address that. He had 2 years of full control, and he didn't cut in fact, he increased spending. During that time, when the only time he had full control, he increased spending while decreasing revenues.
Actually, GDP actually was on an increase, so that what you said
GDP
is
has
his fault.
nothing to do with increasing spending and taking down revenues.
Actually, it does when you get a
No,
GDP
it doesn't.
growth.
No,
It
it does. Did he
It
increase?
produces higher
Did he
revenues. Yes, it
increase
does.
spending?
Flat out,
Did he increase spending?
Yes, he did.
Did he
Especially during
cut
COVID,
taxes?
Which I didn't agree with.
Did he cut
Which I agree with.
taxes?
He didn't. Yes, he did.
Okay, so the only time he had full control, the only time he had full control, he increased spending and cut taxes, and you're saying that on a hunch, I think this time he'll do it.
Because GDP grew. The only way you get out of this is by growing GDP.
We've been growing
which all
GDP
revenues
throughout Biden's administration. How'd that happen?
Well, that happened because of inflation, because a lot of
What about
GDP
during
when you
Obama's
inflate the
administration as we grew GDP?
dollar.
How'd
the
that
same
happen?
thing. Well,
8 years of
actually came-
Obama. How did we increase GDP?
That's a whole nother topic, but that's quantitative easing, dude. So
You think quantitative easing is the reason we had
when you
positive
inflate the dollar
GDP?
so much,
Brother, this is
when
the
you-
thing. Do you see how you have different arguments depending on if a Republican or Democrat's in
You
office?
keep expanding the argument, dude.
When the GDP goes up and it's a Democrat, it's quantitative easing. When GDP goes up
No, I'm
under
telling
a
you under
president,
Obama,
it's I cut taxes.
no. Here, I'll tell you something else too. If you aren't talking presidents, George Bush spent way too much money. I am not a George
I
Bush
don't
fan. He was a
fucking
Republican.
care. We're talking about Trump right now, and you were going
Okay.
anywhere you can not to acknowledge that Donald Trump, when he had full control, increased spending and cut taxes. That's his record, and you guys are running on like, well, maybe this time he won't be the same fucking guy, and you want us to just buy into that.
Well, actually, GDP growth grew. It was starting to grow. Even your guy.
When was
on
the
your
last
side-
time? When was the last year GDP didn't grow?
No, I mean at the rate that it did. It was the largest expansion of GDP growth at the
No,
rate.
it wasn't. That's a lie. Under
Actually,
Trump?
what?
Under Trump?
Yeah,
What
if you
year?
exclude COVID, if you exclude COVID, oh, it's in its
2017, his GDP
2018,
growth was
2018.
2017 was his first year in office where his
Yes.
GDP
2018
growth.
pre-COVID.
Excuse me. GDP growth was 0.64%. 2018, it went down to 0.5%.
Then what was it in
Obama had a year at 5.2% in 2010. He had a year at 0.72. He had 0.41 and 0.42. Obama had multiple years, even his first years in the presidency. He had multiple years that were higher than that. There's no metric by which Donald Trump increased the GDP percentage more than anybody else. That's nonsense.
What was the largest increase in rate of spending? Did it come under, for the first time, did it come under Obama, where we started getting the spending?
Why do you think you're saying for the first time right now?
I should say, because they've always increased it. Every single president has.
Yeah, including Trump, right?
I agree, but here's the thing.
Okay, then I don't fucking care.
I'm telling you.
We're talking about, no, you made a claim that GDP growth was at an all-time high under Trump. That's just an absolute, in fact, it was pretty low. It's not only is it a lie, but he's nowhere near the top. Like nowhere near.
I'm gonna admit, I don't have a computer in front of me to refute you on that right now, but here's the thing. Given Trump, when he gets his second term here, which we probably at least both agree, he's probably going to get reelected and probably have some pretty.
He's probably going to lose, and every bit of good data tells us that he's losing right now. Listen, I have no confidence that you know what good data is. To be honest, you have relied on the dumbest data possible this entire argument. Every single point you've brought up today, you've been wrong about. Every single data point that you've mentioned, you got wrong. That's a bad percentage. It's zero. You're like 0 for 10 on every data point.
Dude, we are just of a difference of opinion. Which
yes, I use data and you use your feelings.
No, use what I argue. You had a computer in front of you and I did not. And look at what our argument has been. So,
yes, it's been me correcting your bullshit data points. You know what I do when I don't have a computer in front of me? I don't make up data points that are wrong.
I wasn't making up data points.
Well, somebody made it up and they told it to you and you repeated it.
But it was only because you kept shifting you kept shifting the topic.
Oh, you were wrong because I was shifting. Your data was wrong because I shifted the blame.
You had to keep going on to something else, which is another.
That's not what happened. I begged you to stay on one topic most of this debate, and you refused to do so. This entire debate was me pulling you back to the topic, which I'm going to do. Which I'm going to do again. I'm going to do again here.
Okay.
Donald Trump increased spending while cutting taxes. GDP growth was nowhere near record. Nowhere near record highs. Nowhere near.
That was not the topic I brought up originally, dude.
I know, but I'm going back to the last thing we were just talking about.
All right. The last one you brought up. All right.
No, you brought that up, dummy. You said Donald Trump had record GDP growth. Right. That was your point.
Dude, by the way, for even your audience and everything else too.
No, thank you. No, you can stay on the subject. We're not getting advice from you right now. You can debate or you can leave. It's up to you.
Calling you names. Can you tell who won the arguments? And I could basically leave it at that. I do appreciate talking to you.
You should leave it at that. You should definitely leave it at that. If you call a name, you lost the argument. Untrue. In fact, you can call names the entire argument and still win the argument. That's just something that like your third grade teacher told you, but it's not true. You can win the argument and be a butthole, which is what I was doing. Let me read messages. Becky says, to the only asshole I'd ever lick. Jesus Christ. Just not ready for that. Kristen says, something in the air today? What's going on? I don't know. They're out. Tommy made a video. Tommy's been nailing his predictions. I saw a video he made yesterday where he's like, debates died up and suddenly we have all these people eager and they all pretend to be like middle ground. Like, I'm not a Republican. And that's been everybody. Raul says, walking Teddy like he was at the Westminster talk show. Shout out Teddy. Sal, are you a billionaire? Because I'd bend over for you. Thank you, Sal. Sal also says, I want your cuck. Jesus. Tracy says, Jay, I think you need a big hug. Come on in, buddy. I'm afraid of giving you a hug, Tracy. I'm not sure you would let go of that hug. I don't know if I lose consent at that point. Toby said, my house is haunted by an evil chicken. It's a poultrygeist. I like that one. I guess Raul Los is what we call pendejo. Is that two people that called him a pendejo, or did I read that one twice? Sal says, would you like to be set up with me then? God damn, Sal. I think that was all of them. All right. Sal is getting wild. I appreciate Sal. Both people just hopped in. Let's see. Pittsburgh Penny, Redel, Co, Dirt, Road, Dems, and Indies. I just like that name. So I don't even know what that means. I just like your name, sir. Oh, somebody else said Pendejos for Trump. That's right. I gave you a hug, turned into a sword fight. All right, he's gone. Let's go with Pittsburgh Penny.
Cancel.
Gotcha. That's creepy as way. Vivian. Hello? Vivian. All right. Los. I don't need you, Los. We're good. We're good right now. We can get to some story. I put a lot of work into the outline today, and we're done. What was the cancel? I see you saying cancel the request. Let's get to the. We did the polls. That brought up the MAGA. How much time do we have? An hour and 15. Let's cover this one first. This was from Wired. Do you remember? Was anybody with me? I think it was Thursday night. What was the? Why is this not pulling up? What was that crazy? Was it Jill? Was Jill the crazy lady on Thursday night? Was that her name? All right, great. Now this story's not coming up. What is going on? Let me find this story. Sorry, guys. My link isn't working. See if I can find it a different way. Yeah, Jill. Jill was the one that brought this up. And I remember we were like, what are you talking about? And she brought up like the people that had accused Tim Walz. Well, Wired has reported on this story. And here's what we found out. So apparently it was a student, a former Tim Walz student, who had accused him of abuse. They have found that student. That student is not who was in the picture. It's an AI generated video. It's not real. And it was, surprise, surprise, passed around Republican circles like COVID. Said, and Russian-aligned propaganda network, notorious for creating deepfake whistleblower videos, appear to be behind a coordinated effort to promote wild and baseless claims that Minnesota governor and vice presidential candidate Tim Walz essayed one of his former students. Experts believe the campaign is tied to a network called Storm 1516, which has been linked to, among other things, a previous effort that falsely claimed Vice President Harris perpetrated a hit and run in San Francisco in 2011. How have I missed that one? Did you guys hear that one? I didn't even hear that one. Storm 1516 has a long history of posting fake whistleblower videos and often deep fake videos to push Kremlin talking points to the West. And also look who got those stories. A lot of those right-wingers that claim they're not paid by Russians, right? Propaganda's unit work has successfully reached the highest levels of the GOP, with vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance repeating at least one of their narratives. NBC reported this week that the group has pushed at least 50 false narratives in this manner since last fall, which comes amid a broader Russian government effort to disrupt next month's election with the aim of helping former President Donald Trump re-enter the White House. Numerous figures in MAGA world boosted the Tim Walz assault claims, including Jack Posobiec, the Pizzagate guy, Candace Owens, who we discussed with Los. There you go, Los. There's Candace Owens getting caught posting Russian disinformation again. Uh-oh, maybe we shouldn't trust her. Claims went viral on X last week when an anonymous account called Black Insurrectionist posted screenshots of emails from a purported victim. I'm trying to remember who they said. I think they know who's behind the Black Insurrectionist account. If somebody's got a computer in front of you, look it up. I'm pretty sure they figured out who was behind that account. On Wednesday, a video claiming to show a former student describing abuse by the former football coach spread widely on X. According to an analysis using several deepfake detector tools, the video was created using AI. And listen, We've all been tricked by AI before, okay? I'm not throwing shade at anybody who's been tricked by AI. It happens to the best of us. The campaign to attack Walz predates the video. It traces back to John Dugan, a former Florida cop who now lives in Moscow and runs a network of pro-Kremlin websites. Dugan appeared on Zach Payne's QAnon Red Pill show on October 5th with an anonymous man named Rick who said he was a foreign exchange student at Mankato West High School in 2004 when Waltz was a teacher there. Rick then claimed Waltz assaulted him. That's why just Republicans, you guys got to be better. You just really, really have to be better. Like, you believe anything. Just anything that makes the left look evil, you'll just believe it. And y'all sound like Jill. All of you sound like Jill. That's sad. All right. I have some options here. Let's see. Oh yeah, I brought this up earlier, so I'll cover it now. Is it showing my screen? I'll show my screen on this one. All right, this is from Mediaite. It's a story about Elon Musk. On Tuesday, Ian Miles Chong, one of Musk's biggest supporters on social media, tweeted a screenshot of a LinkedIn post from Labor Party head of operations Sophia Patel. In the post, Patel said nearly 100 Labor Party staff were heading to battleground states to campaign for Vice President Kamala Harris. Chong called it election interference. Here's the tweet right here. Here's Sophia Patel. She's the head of UK Labour Party, saying that we're coming to the United States to campaign for Kamala. Weird, right? Weird that these other countries don't want Donald Trump again. Around 100 politicians are campaigning on behalf of Kamala Harris across battleground states. Isn't this foreign election interference? Imagine if members of the Russian Duma did this. Republicans do this thing where, like, they get accused of a real crime. And Russia gets accused of Russian election interference. And then they think that just means that anybody speaking about it or doing something is interference, right? The claim of Russia is that they were working with the Trump campaign and that they were promoting obvious lies, like deepfakes, lies, and they used disinformation to affect our elections. This is people coming to campaign. Musk agreed, and this again, remember guys, Musk is dumb. Musk doesn't understand any of this. Musk now has the amount of money, Joe Rogan calls it fuck you money, where you just say fuck you to anybody who disagrees with what you say. And you just get to say whatever you want and people will believe it. Obviously, not illegal. That tweet, according to a screenshot taken by Justin Baragona, was given a community note clarifying underneath that it actually is legal, that you can do that. Included in the community note was a link to a page from the FEC. According to the guidelines, foreign nationals may participate in campaign activities as uncompensated volunteers. If they want to come volunteer, they can do it. And community note was added, and then he said the community note with the FEC link showing it's legal for foreign nationals to serve as campaign volunteers is now gone. Weird how that happens. Musk eliminated the FEC link that would prove that he's lying. Again, like, these Republicans, I don't know how you guys get played this easily. I have no idea how this happens, but all of you are just 100% okay with Elon Musk and Republicans doing the thing that they falsely accuse us of doing. Guys, you've been spending years saying, oh, you guys are manipulating Google, you're manipulating social media, you're putting influence. They're out here actually doing it right in front of your face, and none of you care. None of them. Make Parker look like a baby. There's a lot of people here worried about Parker today. You guys just all waiting for Parker to go live? Why are you guys so worried about Parker? You know what you could do is you guys could just beat him in a debate. It's one option. He wouldn't sound like such babies all the time. What does that say? You're wrong, RTP. People downvote the notes. Yeah, you can downvote the notes, but they removed it. They removed a true statement. Do you think it's a good idea for a social media company, if you're going to have community notes where it adds context, to be able to have them like downvote truth? I wonder who's downvoting true community notes. I wonder who that would have been. Who would have seen Elon Musk's tweets and then have them be corrected, and then they would downvote them. Oh, do not know. All right. Okay, I have two options here. We can go over. Do you guys know who CoffeeZilla is? He's not a political content creator. He's a content creator. He mostly like finds scams. The last couple years, he's been focused specifically on like crypto scams and NFT scams. Well, he uncovered the Trump scam. He has uncovered Trump's crypto scam. It's a 9-minute video. Maybe it's a little longer than that. I might have made that up. Might be 15. We can watch that together if you want. But we can watch it. Andrew Tate's clowning him. Yeah, Andrew Tate's clowning him because CoffeeZilla exposed Andrew Tate too. He did a whole thing on how Hustlers University was a joke. All right, let's watch it. Okay. Where did I put it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Somebody already highlighted it. There we go. And by the way, if this is your first time being exposed to CoffeeZilla, congratulations.
Today we're talking about Donald Trump.
He's incredible. Let's get you the video here. And then before we go, let me just check comments real quick. And I'll be better about the comments for the rest of the day since we don't have debates. Haley says, kiss me if I'm wrong, but Trump won in 2020, right? Listen, there were a lot of problems with that election, okay? There were a lot of problems with that election. If you guys watched my video from yesterday, you'll see a montage of Republicans just running from that question. Sully says, I want to be as horny as Sal. That's not possible. I already know that can't happen. Tracy, did you say? I think I covered that one already. The hug can be consent. Negative GDP in August 2019. Prices increased by 7% in 2019. Teddy can suck my tiny peen. Jesus. That's true. We had a massive drop in 2019. All right. Here we go. This is CoffeeZilla. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll stop it momentarily. CoffeeZilla has done his homework on the Trump crypto, the crypto coin. And you won't be surprised to know that there's some bad actors and some historic criminals that are part of this. 14 minutes long. That's how long it is.
Today we're talking about Donald Trump coin, aka World Liberty Financial. It's a disaster. They've sold 4% of the tokens after days and days of trying to sell them. Look, I didn't want to do this story. I said, look, we don't do politics on CoffeeZilla, which is true. And we never will. But the scam is good on this one, guys. And it's so interesting that I had to talk about it while saying and caveating that this has nothing to do with politics. I don't care what you do. Everybody grifts. It's an equal opportunity thing. So just, relax on that front. I don't want to see political comments. We could start at the announcement of World Liberty Financial Coin. That's where I was going to start. But then I realized really to understand this whole thing, you have to go back to 2021. You have to go back to when Trump first talked about Bitcoin. And it's pretty interesting because now he's 100% behind crypto. He's going to, be the crypto first guy. But here's what he said back then.
Bitcoin, it just seems like a scam.
Oh, it was tough for the crypto bros, but they quickly forgave him when Trump started entering the world of crypto with a lot of NFT drops. He's been doing this kind of nonstop. He's done multiple. Now he launched the official Trump digital trading cards, where if you get enough.
If this was anybody but Trump, everybody would have agreed this was a scam. Like just his the way he builds his websites, the fact that he called something a scam and was doing it to. If it was anybody but Trump, nobody would buy into this. But because it's Trump and you guys have been just conditioned to never believe anything that comes out of his mouth, just believe what you want to believe came out of his mouth. This has actually been relatively successful.
Off of them, you can have dinner with him and get sneakers. You get 2 gold sneakers if you buy 9 digital trading cards for only $1,000 or $900. Now, that's probably where a lot of people's education on the Trump crypto wagon ends, but it's worth stating that his family has also engaged in
This is on YouTube, guys. CoffeeZilla is an independent creator, so if you want to watch his stuff, it's CoffeeZilla on YouTube.
a lot of crypto stuff. I only mention that because multiple of the family members are listed on this project. So, for example, Barron Trump was allegedly involved in DJT. This coin has since rug pulled, unfortunately, for about
A rug pull, and if anybody's not familiar with crypto, basically a rug pull is that you have people who are kind of in the know. They have all these coins, and then they go out and they'll pump the coin, meaning like it'll go out on social media. They might pay some content creators to go out there, say that they're buying it, and then they'll just watch the charts, and the chart will start growing because the more people that buy, the more value the coin is. And then a rug pull is when all the people who hold like most of the coins, they sell at the peak, and then it takes a dive. That's what you're seeing like on that side at the bottom there. It sits down, and then a sudden drop. That's called a rug pull. So that when he says that, that's what he means.
about
I bet you know about a rug pull.
$4 to $5 million, depending on your source. There are some insiders in the coin who are very upset that told me that. I myself traced about $3 million, so that number seems about right to me. So that's bad. That's bad to be associated with that coin. But then you've also got Donald Trump Jr., who was involved in Restore the Republic. That coin immediately...
When he says that Donald Trump, in case you missed it, like this is a Restore the Republic coin, and Donald Trump Jr. was on the Twitter Spaces as a speaker when they were announcing it. And he's going to distance himself from that because these are all pump and dump schemes, but he's going to pretend he wasn't involved later. But that screenshot showed the Twitter Spaces, and you can go find a recording of it, of Donald Trump Jr. pumping this stock. Yeah, I think he also tweeted about it.
Dumped because... basically, there was a tweet like, oh, you don't know what the real Trump coin is. That's not the real Trump coin. I don't know exactly what happened here, but basically it sounds like they got involved and then backed up at the last second. Pump and dump allegations were made of a few $1 million in that coin too. So basically, it's been disaster after disaster after NFT drop, leading up to World Liberty Financial. But this has been the promise of the new great thing that was going to be like the Donald Trump coin. Here we go. Here's the pitch.
Big news. The World Liberty Financial token sale is now live. Crypto is the future. Let's embrace this incredible technology and lead the world in digital economy.
Okay, let's embrace it. Let's see what they got. So you go to their website, and they ask you, are you a U.S. citizen or not? You click yes or no, and then they have
and if you say no, then you just
at
do
a
the
set
VPN.
price.
Yeah.
This is very strange, very unusual, and to set your own price like this. And it's, I think, because they're grifting, bro. They set their initial price for what they're trying to sell. They're trying to sell
Let me just tell you, for anybody who's not familiar with CoffeeZilla, when CoffeeZilla says it's a scam, he's batting like 1,000. He gets it right every time. He's incredibly careful, even when something looks obviously like a scam, but he doesn't have all the information he needs. He won't call it a scam, and he's being careful here. He's saying it looks like a scam, but he knows what he's looking for, and he'll explain it. Like he'll show some of the players, but when CoffeeZilla is on your ass, it's a problem.
$300 million of these tokens off rip. We know that because they have 20 billion coins all selling for $0.015 each. Okay. Now, very few projects ever even reach a valuation of $300 million. So you might be surprised. You might think, well, maybe if their tech's amazing, but for a brand new company to be raising at that price just kind of doesn't make sense. But then you realize it gets even worse when you go to their white paper, which they call the gold paper.
So stupid.
Where they say that they're only selling.
White paper is basically, so everybody has a white paper with these coins, and it basically is like, here's why we're not a scam. If in most simple terms, it lays out like the conditions for selling the coins. It lays out conditions for like founders, and it basically, and then they all say like, we're not going to rug pull because we can't, but then they all just do anyways. But that's what the white paper is, and of course they called it the gold paper.
Selling 35% of the total token supply.
Yeah, like a prospectus.
So
thanks, Drew.
What that means is that it's not actually that they're raising at $300 million. They're actually raising it closer to $1 billion valuation from the start on an unknown project with nobody. What does this project do? Nobody knows. And so immediately, that's one reason that they didn't sell almost any coins. Well, relative to their actual raise. They've so far sold about $13 million of these coins, which, yeah, is something. But compared to what they're trying to raise is nothing. And for a Donald Trump, like, this is the coin thing, it's definitely disappointing, I would think, for them. But then you have by far the biggest problem with this whole coin. All the tokens that you're going to buy are non-transferable and locked indefinitely in a wallet or smart contract, which is insane. There's almost no token like this that you can buy.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, right? Can you imagine? Like, this is supposed to be currency, but it's non-transferable and it stays locked. Like, what are you doing here? This, to me, it sounds like a pump and dump where only some people are going to be able to dump. Like, we need to pump this up, and none of you can sell. None of you can sell. It's locked, and then eventually you're just going to be fucked, and they're going to be collectibles.
All tokens are transferable. And it's not even, what is it if it's not transferable? It just means you can't even sell it. Like, what does that even mean? It's non-transferable. So I guess they probably did that for SEC reasons. They don't want any SEC problems. But at that point, you're not really selling tokens. Like, you're not selling a crypto as most people understand crypto. It's almost like you're selling, I don't even know. Even you can sell NFTs. This is so weird.
Yeah, it's
when
like
I saw this, I was like, what?
It's like an NFT that you can't
then
sell. It doesn't make any sense. This whole thing doesn't make any sense.
You go to the
Faith
actual
coin.
thing.
Yeah.
You go to their team, and you find out that Donald Trump is not even the main guy. Like, this is not, for all the talk about it being his project, it's not his project. They are the ambassadors, which, obviously is just a way to pull away your liability, right? I'm not actually the project itself. They say they're just ambassadors.
Also, nobody would want Trump to run their business. It could be, if this was legitimate, you also don't want Trump in charge because he's terrible at this.
And if you read the fine print, they have an endorsement deal with World Liberty Financial. And part of that endorsement deal is like a 5-year deal where they have to promote it. And if they promote it, they get 75% of all the profits that this whole thing makes. So they make all the profits, basically, like most of the profits. But then they actually don't, they don't have a lot of the liability, which, I get why they did that. But if I'm someone looking at this, I'm thinking, oh no, like, your token's not transferable, raised at like over $1 billion or around $1 billion valuation, which is insane. Then you've got a project where the guy can just back out after 5 years and is not really even like the guy behind this whole thing. So then you go, well, who is behind this? And so you got to look at their
So money laundering, maybe. I think they're just kicking. Likely, they're just kicking Trump like dividends that they're paying out Trump and his guy. It's a 5-year. Like most of his properties, it's probably just like a licensing agreement. That's what it feels like.
Founders. So their founders are a lot of, people I don't recognize on here personally for being crypto people, except for this guy, Chase Hero. Now, if that name is familiar to you, it's because he has been featured on CoffeeZilla before.
Yo, Ben, we need some more of these Acomis.
Please, bro, please. EOD, if possible.
Yep.
Because we have an episode going tomorrow where we
I don't know what they're talking about.
very
That's Logan
highly of
Paul.
Omi, and I wouldn't be surprised if that caused some traction.
Not exactly a great look. Now, besides doing that, Chase Hero, I have come to learn from a fantastic Bloomberg feature article, that Chase was also involved with Doe Finance, which got hacked for about $2 million. But probably the best thing you can learn about Chase Hero is kind of what he says himself about marketing, because it'll give you a good idea of what this project is kind of all about.
And you can literally sell shit in a can, wrapped in piss, covered in human skin for $1 billion if the story's right.
That sounds like he just explained Trump. Like that. If you walk in a conversation and somebody is saying those words, you'd be like, are they talking about Trump? That's exactly what it sounded like. Let's give him, again, this is his marketing strategy. This is what he believes about marketing.
Project is kind of all about.
And you can literally sell shit in a can, wrapped in piss, covered in human skin for $1 billion if the story's right.
And this is a co-founder of this project. Imagine, like, if you're a crypto scammer and you see not only Trump, but like the dumbest group of followers imaginable, the most easily manipulated, gullible group of followers, that's you did it. If you can get him on board, you've got millions of dummies that are just going to buy anything. Like, what he's saying there is so transparent. Behind closed doors, that's what they said, right? They're like, hey, we can go after influencers, but the ultimate influencer might be Donald Trump, because he can't even fuck up. Like, influencers can be canceled. People want to cancel influencers. They wait for influencers to fuck up. Every time Trump fucks up, the people like him more. This is the perfect storm for a crypto scammer.
Wait, what?
How does someone wrap something in piss?
Describe
Get really dehydrated, I assume.
World Liberty
Sally.
Financial?
I don't know.
Because that's what this is. It's just using a narrative to try to sell something for $1 billion that is garbage. So this is the guy that's behind the Donald Trump coin. I mean, the actual co-founder, one of the co-founders, that's what he says. There's a lot of other people involved. But anytime you have a guy like that in your project, it's trouble, at least in my opinion. So when you go down, you kind of figure out how they're structuring some of this stuff. You have DT Marks DeFi LLC, which sounds basically like the Donald Trump team. And they're going to provide services to World Liberty Financial. In exchange, they're going to get 22 billion World Liberty Financial tokens and a right to receive 75% of the net protocol revenues. So they're basically getting the lion's share of the deal for, endorsing this whole thing. I do have to ask, though, if these tokens are non-transferable, why give them so many tokens?
Yeah, that's a weird...
doesn't that defeat the purpose of
What would be the point of the token? Like, where they're just going to collect their own tokens? You can't sell them. This whole thing it's really bizarre. But by the way, I've seen these white papers again and again and again, and they all say like these tokens are locked, and then they just unlock, because they're the ones that lock them, right? They lock these pools of tokens. They can also unlock them. Now they can write in their documentation, hey, this is locked and we can't unlock them, but they all can, and they all do. So, and there's virtually no oversight on this. The crypto bros that are advising Donald Trump, like, this is exactly what they want. This allows them to move money without paying taxes. It allows them to launder money. It allows them to run pump and dump schemes. I mean, imagine if you're a multimillionaire and you're involved in crypto, and you get in an investment group with a handful of other people. You can manipulate cryptocurrencies all day long. Even if you just inflate it, let's say it's worth $1, you inflate it to $2, and then you sell. You've doubled your money. The more money you have, the more you can manipulate. And cryptocurrency is highly deregulated. It is really hard to get caught in a crypto scam. Like, every famous person has done it. Everybody's been involved, and none of them are paying the price for it.
DAO? I mean, actually, to be clear, this thing is explicitly not a DAO, but it's supposedly decentralized, meaning like nobody controls it. But they kind of do. You've got the majority of...
Sorry about the racist in the chat, guys. Probably, Jen thinks that was Text 45. I tend to agree.
The supply with insiders, or at least a large chunk of it, which means that you will be able to shape the vote. If this token is just about governance of a protocol, whoa, you control it from the start. So it's not
then if
really
you want to unlock those
at all.
coins,
So now it's not transferable. It's not decentralized. It's overpriced, and it's got people, and I'm talking about all the people we've talked about so far, who have been involved in projects which have been rug pulled, hacked, pump and dumped. It's like the list is terrible. Okay? And that's all before we get to what this project even does. As I said, this is a governance token for a protocol. But what is that protocol? Well, come to find out, it's decentralized lending and borrowing, something that has been around forever in crypto. There are established, actually decentralized protocols that do it. And when you read closer, it basically looks like they're going to take the tech stack that exists and just copy it. Because World Liberty Financial, this is a proposal on something called Aave, which is the decentralized lending protocol, and they're trying to deploy a World Liberty Financial Aave instance focused on providing stablecoin liquidity for ETH and wrapped Bitcoin and growing the Aave protocol user base. So World Liberty Financial, their big thing, this is what they're pricing.
I remember when I was
trying to raise $300
Aave
million.
was like the coin. That was like the big coin at the time. I had too much money in Aave.
What they're saying is, we're going to bring a few customers to an existing tech that has always like been around and doesn't need help. And make it worse. Like make it less decentralized. Make it, not be able to sell your tokens. I mean, it is absolutely insane. And look, you might be right to say like, hey, this just sounds like a complicated way to just accept a lot of donations, because they did take in $13 million. And I would agree with you, but there's kind of this weird thing. So
I'm going to pause it right there to read these because that's a spot I can pick back up. Tracy said, you can pump. Oh, it did that one. Sorry. Somebody said check Venmo. I didn't see a new one. Oh, no, he did. Maybe he just said that. You couldn't pump and dump me, big guy. Thank you. Sal, would you participate in my pump and dump? Same wavelength there. Jana says, you should play Democracy Now's Project 2025 co-author lays out radical agenda for next Trump term in undercover video. They not only discuss Trump's involvement, but also what's in phase 2 of Project 2025. I think I've seen that, but send it to me. Maybe we can play that. DM it to me on TikTok or Twitter, and we'll watch that.
So this is the weird one.
I didn't hear it.
In the paragraph 15.
You wouldn't
look,
hear it if I
be
did
that
say
guy,
no, Sal.
But paragraph 15 says, after payment of pre-launch development and transaction expenses, $30 million of World Liberty Financial Protocol revenues, including token sale proceeds, is expected to be reserved for pay for future World Liberty Financial Protocol operating and other expenses for contingent obligations. So they've earmarked $30 million out the gate. So as like a donation theory thing that kind of shoots that, because it sounds like none of that money is going to go directly to Trump. It's actually going to be set aside for this protocol, if you believe that, that to develop the protocol, which is kind of a fork of a thing. It's fishy.
One thing to remember, if you're thinking watching this, like this doesn't make any sense. Like I don't even understand what this cryptocurrency is. It's because like cryptocurrency is supposed to have utility. That was the idea behind it, right? There was tech behind some of these currencies. Blockchain obviously is the main tech behind it, but the idea is that you use cryptocurrency in a way that makes it better for the consumer. The problem is you have all these coins that there's no real tech behind them at all. They're not doing anything different. There's nothing different about this. There's no utility to it. You can't transfer the coins, so it's not even a currency. It's not an NFT. There's nothing collectible about it. And again, you can't transfer it. So if you're collecting NFTs as an investment and you can't transfer, that's what he's saying. Like this whole thing doesn't make any sense. And people are buying into it simply probably for two reasons. One, it's Trump, and two, maybe to launder money, but now we can't figure out how they're laundering money. Like there's this $30 million that's set aside supposedly to build up the project for the protocols. No, but who knows? And nobody can figure out where this money is going to go. My guess is that they're just going to change the rules. My guess is Donald Trump and his family, as part of the board, at some point they're just going to be like, never mind, we're unlocking the coins. You can sell them. Ours are unlocked first. Big sell, pump and dump. Now we got our money.
Fishy for sure. But that's what I'm saying. I was just like, it doesn't even make sense from that angle. This is such a disaster through and through that I have noticed recently that this little banner popped up. I hadn't seen that the first time I joined the site. I mean, maybe it was always there. I don't know. It says inspired by Donald Trump, which sounds like the kind of thing you put on something.
Which sounds like the exact fucking thing. If you were being honest and somebody was like, where did you get your idea? And you're like, I was inspired by Trump. Everybody would be like, oh, so it's a scam. It's fraud. We're doing fraud. Because like, what great thing, like Trump's not an innovator. Nobody's inspired by Donald Trump's business prowess. He's most known for fraud. That's like his big thing. So I probably wouldn't put that. I wouldn't put that up there because if somebody who's not a Trump fan is like inspired by Trump, no, I'm fucked on this one. I think Trump University was inspired by
yourself
Trump.
From it, you're like, oh, this is my project, and then when it like kind of starts flopping, you go, well, it was inspired by me. It's important that those guys really, took inspiration from my leadership.
You're the meaning in my life.
It looks like they're probably going to slowly start distancing themselves from that project.
I'm
sure we won't hear a lot more about it now that there's been such a.
All right, so that's basically it. By the way, welcome to CoffeeZilla. For any of you who haven't met him, he's an incredible investigative journalist. If you almost everything I know about crypto, I learned from watching CoffeeZilla. When I got down like the rabbit hole, when I started shifting left, I would do politics with like Vosh and Destiny, and there were probably a Majority Report. And then when I didn't want to do politics, I would go to CoffeeZilla, and I would just spend hours and hours and hours. No matter what I was doing, I had headphones in listening to them. But you can learn a lot from CoffeeZilla. Plus, he's a great journalist. Support him. Go to his YouTube, subscribe. Like a video over there. I stole all of his work today for our content, so he deserves it. So if you haven't followed him or watched him, go watch a CoffeeZilla one. I highly recommend. He caught Logan Paul in the Crypto Zoo scam. Another one he did was a coin called Save the Children that turned out to just be a big scam, and it was like during the QAnon time. All these guys, they love the right because the right is so easily duped. And so they'll like things like Save the Children or now a Trump crypto scam. That's kind of like their go-to. Ronnie, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. So you believe all that stuff he's talking about, huh?
Which stuff?
But you're so easily misled, brother.
What do you mean?
Well, you even at this point, you still believe the fucking 49ers.
I knew it. I don't believe them anymore.
Accent, sorry.
What was that attempted accent there? That was a
terrible Cajun one.
That was Cajun? Man, I was guessing like Pakistan. That was bad.
Oh, you mean, similar parts of the world, right? The same thing.
Right next
same
to each other.
Yeah, they're bordering countries, Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
The country of Casia. I'm just kidding.
Casia Asians, I think it is.
That's from Canada originally, right? That's
Cajuns.
Cajun comes from the word literally comes from Acadia, which is a.
Are you making this up right now?
No, I'm not. I'm legit not. It's actually from.
Okay.
That's where the French influence come from. I think it's French Canada.
Acadians, a group of people who originated in Western France and were expelled from their homeland by the British in 1775 and colonized Canada. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And they went to Louisiana. Why? They were Jesus. They got kicked out of Canada too. That's tough. What? It's tough, right? That's a tough life.
It's not as bad as Azerasians, but
it's not. Well, we learned something new today. Well, anyways, I forgot, who's your team again?
The team that beat you to go to the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and
The
then
Rams. How are
the
they
team that
doing?
just beat you a few weeks ago. Yeah.
How are they doing? Pretty good.
Well, we're almost have the same record right now. We're both injured to shit. So
yeah, that's true. All right, get the hell out of here.
All right, catch you later.
Cam. God damn, the Niners are bad. They're so bad. My poor friend. I have a friend who just he has meltdowns through the entire games. But I'll get crazy like betting. Like he bet me before the game that Niners would lose by more than 20. It's like I'm not as sad because I keep cleaning up off my friend. He makes the worst bets because he just like he can't have like a middle ground. He can't have a mediocre season. He's got to have like either Niners lose every game or they win every game, and that's all he can deal with. So if you guys need a little extra cash though, I could send him your way. He'll make the dumbest bets possible. All right. Okay. I want to show this. This is from Trump's stop in Pittsburgh, and a beloved. What is going on with this? None of my links are working. Do links change on Twitter like over time? I don't understand this. All right. Well, Jerome Bettis was out campaigning for Kamala. Trump tweeted out a picture. We can actually, let's just find it on here. We can find Trump Steelers. We'll just find it the old-fashioned way here. Trump tweeted out a picture of him. This picture. Did you guys see this? Trump look at those arms. And then Newsweek put up this headline. This was real. This was from Ron Filipkowski. Hopefully they don't kill my post. Yeah. Newsweek puts out this headline about that picture. Donald Trump has shared what is likely an AI generated image on his Truth Social account showing him as a player for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's likely that it was AI. I guess it's possible that he also played for the Pittsburgh Steelers and was jacked and we didn't know about it. But yeah, that was Newsweek's headline, is that this is likely. Or maybe they were just saying maybe it wasn't AI generated, maybe it was Photoshop. I don't know. But that's what they shared. Jerome Bettis put something out later that night. He's like, New York Jets come to town, Steelers win. New York, Donald Trump comes to town, we win again. Something like that. Basically, like you're not welcome here. Then I'm going to show you, since we had the racists on today, I'm going to show you Jim Brewer. This is at Jim Brewer. So funny. He's a MAGA comedian, and he's about to get real racist here. So just so we're clear, trigger warning. This is him at the Reawaken America tour. It's Clay Clark's Reawaken America tour. I went and I looked for tickets. There were tickets in 2021, and then just this show. You got some wonderful speakers there. It looks like My Pillow. You got Michael Flynn, maybe Zangief. I don't know who that is. I don't know who most of these people are. But here's Jim Brewer doing a stand-up bit. And this is what happens when you're just like rage baited all day long. This is who you become. You make jokes that aren't funny unless somebody also hates the person that you're talking about. And in this case, Kamala Harris. And again, it's going to get racist. So trigger warning.
So the Fox guy goes, 70% of America says we're heading in the wrong direction. And what do you have to say to those 70% of Americans? And Donald Trump's been running. Her handlers are coming out.
I want to point out that most of the people in this audience are not laughing. There's like 6 people laughing.
Her handlers are coming out.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's supposed to be a donkey. yeah, who knows? This is again, this is another guy who's been on Rogan. Rogan had like a 3-hour episode with this guy.
You don't think China was watching?
By the way, oh shit. How far did we go there? There we go. This guy also claims that he was canceled because he's conservative. I think it's pretty clear that he's canceled because he's not
Her
funny.
handlers are coming out.
Thought he was doing Goat Boy? Yeah, who knows? It's a bad donkey. It's not clear that that's
China
a donkey.
was watching that going, oh my gosh, she's so funny. She answered no question, so funny. And people still follow her.
So it's like a really racist Asian stereotype there at the end. This is MAGA. This is your folks. This is Jim Brewer. Outside of Half Baked, he was never Half Baked, he was funny until you realize that like, oh wait, no, he's just actually insane. He wasn't playing a character. He's just insane. And then like alongside Dave Chappelle, it worked. Right. But then once you realize like, oh, this is who this person is, it's not a character, it becomes a lot less funny. Who made that GIF? Let me check messages real quick. Whoever made that GIF of me and CoffeeZilla both with a blunt, I appreciate that. I don't know who did that in the Discord, but that's incredible. All right. Let's go. Hey, and by the way, just so that we're transparent, we do cover when trans people hurt children, drag queens specifically, and this is another non-drag queen out here hurting children. This is Michigan evangelical worship leader and Christian recording artist Zachary Radcliffe, who has been arrested for child sex crimes. You can see here, he's 29 years old, Oakwood Church in Ypsilanti. Whatever, that's not a word. What is Ypsilanti? Worship leader and Christian music recording artist has been charged with 6 counts of child sexually abusive activity, 2 counts of abuse material, criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, and 1 count of using a computer to commit a crime. No mugshot, no media reporting on it yet. There's all his counts. You can look here. This is his Facebook page. You got Donald Trump with the raised fist there. Big Trump guy there. Professional country and Christian recording artist. He is a studio and songwriter. You wouldn't want to see him with some Trumps there. Oh, there's Don Jr. There's who is that? Is that the Joker? Who is that? I don't know who that is in the blue. Some sort of character. Somebody in a costume. That's somebody in a costume. I don't know. It's not human. I don't know what that is. And then I think this is that guy whose name I never remember, the Liberty University guy, the Christian guy who liked watching his wife with the pool boy. What's his name again? No, that can't be Kimberly Guilfoyle. From what I know, she's a human. That's not a human. Jerry Falwell Jr. So that's Jerry Falwell Jr., Don Jr., and one of the Muppets. I don't know which one that is.
Pastor Frank, this is Donald Trump Jr. I hear you're trying to build a new building at Oakwood Church. And I think it's absolutely awesome. I met Zach during CPAC and with Jerry Falwell at Liberty University. I think he's just an amazing guy. So I hope that you guys can make that happen and keep doing the incredible work that you're doing. Don't ever quit. Don't ever stop. Your message is an important one, and we got to keep fighting for it. So keep going strong. Don't ever stop. And I look forward to seeing both of you guys sometime in the not too distant future. Thanks for all you do. And again, be blessed.
Whoopsies. 6'2", 265. They said, "What?" Somebody said, "Why is it always the ones who are 6'2" and 225-ish?" It's not nice. That's not nice. Anyways, shout out MAGA. They're just another one of your own there going down. It happens to exactly who it should happen to. There we go. That's this guy, Mr. Christian. He kind of looks like Shane Morris, though. Don't tell Shane I said that. But doesn't that, if you saw that, wouldn't you think that was Shane, like going undercover as MAGA? Yeah, it might be why you've been saying oopsies. Yeah, probably. Ypsilanti is a town here in Michigan. I don't believe it. It was a mistake. If that's the name of the town, it was a mistake. It was a spelling error. Somebody just like accidentally fell asleep on the keyboard and we came up with Ypsilanti. There's no other reason why that should be the name of it's. The Y is silent. Get out of here. So what is it? It's, hold on. So it's, the Y is silent. So what about the P? So it's Ypsilanti, or is the P also silent? Ips. Okay, it is Ips. So dumb. That is not the name of a town. I don't care what you say. Like, I'm sure it's a lovely place, but let's not pretend that a town should be named that. That's not a real word. Speaking of, by the way, we'll go back to Pittsburgh. This person existed at the Steelers game. This is Donald Trump. This is what they put out, by the way. On the left, you'll see the video, and you'll hear the crowd chanting USA, and we'll get there in a second. But the crowd, obviously, mostly not looking at Trump. There's a few people looking at Trump, and they're chanting USA. You'll see over here in the zoomed-in picture, there are multiple people, including this woman who's giving him the double bird, and one other guy holding a phone while giving the bird. Out of the 12 people that know he's there, at least 2 of them are saying, fuck you. All right, now let's show you what's actually gross. They were chanting USA, and Donald Trump took this as an opportunity to do a little photo op and pretend they were actually cheering for him. Here's what they were actually cheering for. At the same time, Donald Trump respects fallen soldiers. He wouldn't do like a promotional video while people were chanting for a U.S. soldier, would they?
We salute Navy SEAL Lou Dobbs.
Now you'll hear the USA chants.
USA! USA! USA!
So that's actually when the crowd was chanting USA. Trump stole it. Nobody gave a shit that he was there. Some people found out he was there and they were like, God damn, can this guy leave? We'd like to get rid of this guy. Let me check messages one more time. Here we go. Jana says, the only thing Trump inspires is putting granddad in a nursing home because his dementia is getting worse. I also sent you the Project 2025 video to TikTok. Okay, thank you. Yeah, look, his cognitive abilities are shot at this point. And it sucks because we can't even really talk about it. It's amazing that the same Republicans spent years talking about Joe Biden, and now they won't even address that Donald Trump is in a much more crazy state than Joe Biden ever was. Like, he's unhinged from reality. Yeah, USA, that must be for me. Yeah. Let's see. Let's just talk about Trump being crazy. We remember the other day when Trump was talking about Arnold Palmer's dick for some reason, which was great. This was Jessica Tarlov absolutely crushing, as usual, on Fox News, about how Fox News never addresses any of the crazy shit Donald Trump does. They just pretend like what he's saying is normal. It's beautiful.
They're shattering the rules all around the way this government works. I mean, and I think Donald Trump to go, listen, let's get back to normalcy. Let's get back to actually respecting each other.
How big Arnold Palmer was? Are you kidding me, Sean?
Wait, listen, we're talking about how the...
No. You tell me if Joe Biden had stood up there and said, you know, I saw Arnold Palmer in a shower once, and boy, that guy's got it going on down there. What would you have said? That he wasn't fit to lead?
That doesn't affect the way the government works, the way the government functions.
That you have an insane person as the head of the government? And when you say you shatter the norms, maybe the guy who got indicted is the one that shattered the norms.
Maybe it's the lawfare that was used to indict him.
It's always the lawfare, right? Do you see like the double standard there? If he says something crazy, it's fine. Like, why are we talking about what he said that's crazy? But if somebody on our side says something that's a little off, like it's front page news. And this is why it's so difficult to deal with Donald Trump, is because Donald Trump doesn't play by the same rules. His followers don't play by the same rules. The very rules that they lay out and ask us to adhere to when it comes to their candidate, they'll never bring it up. This is some more eviscerating here. Hopefully this one works.
This guy.
Oh, this was the actual clip. Sorry. This is in case you missed the Arnold Palmer.
This is a guy that was all man. This man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God. That's...
I'm just saying, for like a group of people who is extremely homophobic, that's the gayest thing I've ever heard. What do you like? It's fine, but like if Tracy or Sal were talking to me like that, my face would be bright red. If I was being talked about like that, I would be bright red. Like what the way he describes it too, like it's a fantasy.
This guy. This is a guy that was all man.
Oh, he was all
His
man.
man was strong and tough. And
it's like a really shitty, like erotic novel. This man was quite a man. He was all man. He was so strong and tough.
I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said...
And when we were in the locker room together and we took showers, we came out and said...
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
That's unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. I had to say it. I just had to say it. Like, I don't care. If you want to fuck Arnold Palmer, that's fine. But can you guys drop the homophobia for a while before you say some shit like that? Like that's wild. That's a crazy thing to say. And Governor Walz was asked about this. Governor Walz was asked about now we're like it's October before an election, and we're talking about a guy who a dead guy's dick. Like it's a real. We have to discuss it now. And when you're running for vice president, at some point, someone's gonna be like, hey, by the way, what do you think about Arnold Palmer's dick? That's where we're at.
We have a quick pop
locker
quiz
room
for
talk.
you.
That gives a new framing on locker room talk, by the way. That was some sultry locker room talk.
It's a speed round, so I'm gonna ask you some questions and we'd like you to briefly fill in the blank with your answers, okay? My best pitch to voters is?
Choose a future where you're the center of it, not Donald Trump.
Right.
The future matters.
My advice to J.D. Vance is?
Just go in and order the chocolate donut and don't add anything else.
My first thought about Arnold Palmer is?
I'm passing on that one.
Good move. One nice thing about Donald Trump is?
He will not be president again.
Did you notice how when they're like, hey, what do you think about Arnold Palmer? He didn't go, you know what? I got to say it. Huge cock. Huge. And everybody talked about it. And we just stared at him naked in the shower all the time. Like the normal response, or you could be like, he was a very good golfer. He did a lot of charitable work. But no, like it's just his dick's huge. That's what I got. And by the way, Trump wasn't even prompted. He just happened to be in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, which I believe is where Arnold Palmer's from. I know he has a course there, but like that's all. He was just in a city, and just him touching foot and his handler saying, "You're in Latrobe." He's like, "Oh God!" Now all I'm gonna think about is Arnold Palmer's dick now. How about? Don't worry. They're like, don't say it during the rallies. I'm not going to bring it up during the rally. 5 minutes in, I got to tell you guys about Arnold Palmer's dick. I got to tell you about this. By the way, Arnold Palmer's daughter had something to say about this. This is her. I think she put this up on maybe Facebook. It's from a New York Times article. Never mind. While Mr. Palmer had dealings with Mr. Trump over the years, Mr. Palmer's daughter, Peg Palmer, told Mr. Hauser her father saw a different side of him during the presidential campaign. My dad didn't like people who act like they're better than other people. He had no patience for people who are dishonest and cheat. My dad was disciplined. He wanted to be a good role model. He was appalled by Trump's lack of civility and what he began to see as Trump's lack of character. One moment stood out in her mind from the 2016 campaign when Mr. Palmer saw Trump on television. My dad made a sound of disgust like ugh or ugh, Like he couldn't believe the arrogance and crudeness of this man who was the nominee of the political party that he believed in. Then he said, he's not as smart as we thought he was. What would my dad think of Donald Trump today? I think he'd cringe. I just want to point out everything Mr. Palmer talked about here, the things that he thought were important. Don't act like you're better than people. Be honest. Don't cheat. Be a good role model. Have civility. Have character. Have a huge dick. Donald Trump doesn't fit any of that. We know that he doesn't have character. We know that he's not civil. We know he's not a good role model. We know he's not disciplined. And thanks to Stormy Daniels, we also know he doesn't have a big dick. So the opposite of Arnold Palmer is and by the way, Arnold Palmer also beat his ass at golf too. He was much better than him. He's one of the greatest golfers of all time. So I just want to point out he is the opposite of Arnold Palmer in apparently every way. I want to show you guys this. Well, I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to go over some undecided voter stuff tomorrow. How much time do I have? 15 more minutes? What can I get in 15? We're going to go to North Carolina. Now, I didn't get any stuff added from this morning, but there are stories coming out of North Carolina. I think Midas Touch covered it. Maybe Jen sent me that video. Stories coming out of North Carolina of people not being able to get food, not being able to go to work, not being able to travel because Donald Trump keeps bringing his big fucking entourage to campaign in the middle of a disaster area. So in North Carolina, we're having real problems because Donald Trump wants to keep going there and use it as a publicity stunt so that he can rip this administration. And there's people all over these cities saying, we can't go anywhere. Like he's fucking up our life. But here's Donald Trump first lying again about... This is what's crazy about Trump. Everybody now knows that the story about the Biden administration taking money for disasters and giving it to illegal immigrants is not a real story. It's fake. It's been debunked. No news organization's even repeating it anymore. Everybody knows it's fake. Republicans that are here, you guys know that that's fake. Everybody knows it's not a real story. Except for this guy.
I can say, and certainly you have all heard the same stories that we all hear, that FEMA has done a very poor job. Our FEMA...
JD, the box is open.
We did record rescues, and the job that FEMA did under the Trump administration was really incredible. But they had spent, in all fairness to FEMA...
Multiple governors have come out, Republican and Democrat governors have come out and said, it was a nightmare when we had disasters because we had to call Trump and grovel and beg just to get the money that we were supposed to get that was already set aside. And we had to call him and you had to watch your tone. In order to get what you needed for your state, you had to kiss his ass.
The FEMA, they had spent...
And if you're in Puerto Rico, keep your head on a swivel because there's some paper towels coming.
Hundreds of millions of dollars doing other things that I don't think bear any relationship to this money. They were not supposed to be spending the money on taking in illegal migrants, maybe so they could vote in the election, because that's a lot of people are saying that's why they're doing it. I don't know. I hope that's not why they're doing it. So they really didn't have any money. They don't have very much money. And now they're saying, can we have a special vote? Let's have a special session. I'm in favor of that, but...
Now, this is why we say Republicans are cowards. Over Trump's left shoulder, you'll see this guy. He's got a pen in his pocket, so you know he means business. His name is Chuck Edwards. Chuck Edwards is a congressman. And Chuck Edwards, not very long ago, released this statement. But, by the way, doesn't bother interrupting Trump, but released this statement. This on his website. FEMA has not diverted disaster response funding to the border or foreign aid. Disaster response efforts and individual assistance are funded through the Disaster Relief Fund, which is a dedicated fund for disaster efforts. FEMA's non-disaster related presence at the border has always been of major concern to me, even before Hurricane Helene, and I will continue to condemn their deployment of personnel to the southern border. But we must separate the two issues. First of all, why are you mad at FEMA being at the border? It's because you have to hate FEMA and you have to hate anybody who's giving aid to immigrants. That's why. FEMA is not going to run out of money. FEMA officials have repeatedly affirmed that the agency has enough money for immediate response and recovery needs over the next few months. Now, he doesn't interfere right there with Trump. He doesn't stop Trump from saying that. Knowing that Trump is lying, he just sits there. He just sits there. Like these folks are such incredible cowards that they know they're going to have to go out and they're going to have to make a statement to clear up all the lies that Donald Trump told. But the one thing they're not going to do is correct him in real time, because then Trump then goes to a campaign rally where, I mean, things just continue to get insane. This was in, I can't remember what city, it'll probably say at the top here, Greenville, North Carolina. Here's Trump in Greenville.
We'll protect our borders. You know, you've had politicians that didn't do it. They were either stupid, maybe dishonest.
You know how mad these MAGA folks get that I keep calling Donald Trump dumb? And they're like, you're incendiary. Like the last guy, like if you go to ad homs, you're losing the debate. Well, did they say that about him? Did they say that about Donald Trump?
But they were either stupid, maybe dishonest, could have been dishonest. Hard to believe they would be dishonest, isn't it? When you see guys like Adam Shifty Schiff, he would never take anything. Can you believe this guy's probably going to be a senator? I can't even believe it. I'll tell you what, I was in California. We have some of the biggest crowds you've ever seen. I was in California. I'd love to have God to come down and be the vote counter just for one day.
He needs God. Christians. He has no use for God, except for when he wants God to come count the votes. And this is just absolute manipulation. He's telling you, like, everybody, even in California, I win California. If God counted the votes, I would win. That's so stupid. And because of his Coachella, which wasn't at Coachella, that had 100,000 people, that had like 12,000 people. It's just ironic that somebody this stupid and somebody who lies this much is up on stage calling other humans stupid who lie. He's literally lying on stage about stuff that is so stupid.
And see how well we're doing, California. They send millions and millions of ballots out. They don't know what the hell's happening. And no matter what happens, they say, well, California is not available. I have a rally. I have 100,000 people. They have a rally. They have 200 people.
His 100,000 rally had 12,000 max capacity, and nobody thinks that there was filled to capacity there. Right? Nobody. But what do you mean California is available? Yeah, they tell you can't win California because the people there fucking hate you. That's why. And they vote against you. They don't want to vote for you. It's not unavailable. People don't like you there. He continues. Here's more lies from Trump. We'll just try and debunk one by one till we're done. Going to go after 60 minutes.
Isn't it crazy what they do and the level of meanness, the way they write about people, and the way they protect? How about 60 Minutes? The way they protected Kamala. She gave an answer. Think of it. 60 Minutes, CBS, and they ought to lose their license and they ought to take it off the air. It's the biggest.
We showed you Thursday or Friday. We showed you edits. Fox News edited clips so that the answer was different. The reason that these Republicans are saying that 60 Minutes edited Kamala's clip, and the only reason they know that is because 60 Minutes put out the full clip before the interview. Here's their fact check. Like they actually finally had to come out and just be like, all right, let us explain what happened here, because we know normal people don't do this, but now we have to explain. Former President Trump accused 60 Minutes of deceitful editing on our October 7th interview with VP Harris. The show in the statement said that is false. 60 Minutes gave an expert of our interview to Face the Nation that used a longer section of her answer than on 60 Minutes. Same question, same answer, same network. Their network played the answer in full. The statement continued, but a different portion of the response when we edit any interview, whether a politician, an athlete, or movie star, we strive to be clear, accurate, and on point. The portion of her answer on 60 Minutes was more succinct, which allows time for other subjects in a wide-ranging 21-minute long segment. So the only reason that these Trump folks even know that there's a longer answer is because CBS put it out. It's the same thing they do with like FBI statistics. It's the same thing they do with border statistics. They claim something is broken and that something is corrupt, and then they cite that as their source. Like, my source is the people that we're calling corrupt telling the truth. Here's Trump on tariffs. We probably should have played this one earlier. But
it's the most beautiful word there is. Tariff. And these stupid people, stupid politicians, they don't like... Look, they're either dumb or they're corrupt. Anybody that opposes tariffs
there we go again.
For a country where you're going to... Because China's been doing that for years. We don't want you...
Nobody opposes tariffs. This is a straw man. And this is why the person that came up earlier argued from a straw man position as well. Nobody is against tariffs. Our argument against him isn't about tariffs. Our argument is he doesn't know what the fuck they are. And he doesn't think that they will cost money. They do. You either have to offset that, or you have to be okay saying, yeah, this might raise prices in this sector. He thinks he's like, prices are going to drop. American manufacturing is going to come back, and those countries are going to pay the tariffs. All of that is incorrect. Now, you can use tariffs. You can use tariffs to try and encourage manufacturing to come back, but the other country's not paying it, and it probably isn't going to increase prices. We're just saying, if you're going to increase tariffs, like, for example, Chinese electric vehicles. If you put 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles, China's not going to pay for it. Americans probably aren't going to buy it. And the ones that do will know that there's 100% markup, and fine. They can pay. If you can afford 100% markup, fine. But that's not going to be inflationary. This isn't bread. This isn't water. These aren't things that are necessary for our country to survive. So in that instance, I can look at a tariff and I can say that's not going to be inflationary. That none of that's inflationary, and China's not paying it. And the person who wanted the Chinese EV, they paid the tariff. It was passed along to them. That's what they chose to do. They wanted to import that car. Fine. But this idea that like our party is just against tariffs is absolutely untrue, which is crazy considering that Joe Biden has kept tariffs, he's instituted other tariffs, and he's advocating for more tariffs. Now, Trump, I have to be fair here. I do believe Trump is dumb. I don't believe he knows anything about what he's just talking about here. There's a lot of people that are saying Trump wants to take us back to 1798. He does, but I don't think he knows why. This is where that quote's coming from.
And to expedite removals of Tren de Aragua and other...
Nobody ever... why is it that if Kamala Harris goes to... when she goes to Atlanta... and she might have a predominantly black crowd, and she talks a little bit differently, it's a problem. But every time this guy tries to pronounce a word correctly, it's not a problem. Why is he doing it that way? Why is he doing it in an accent? And also, that's the closest he got. Tren de Agua is what he's talking about, and you can hear it again. Puerto Rico. No, he didn't roll his R's. Puerto Rico. I have a hard time saying Rico without a rolled R.
Aragua and other savage gangs like MS-13, equally violent. I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798.
He fucked it up. He accidentally said 18, and then he he tricked him. They're like, wait, it was 17. Okay. It's like he just fucked it up, and he tries to play it off.
Of 1798. Think of that.
And it's an honest mistake. I'm not butchering him for saying that. He's so afraid of being wrong and being caught being wrong that when he's wrong, he just pretends like he did it on purpose.
1798. That's when we had real politicians that said we're not going to play games. We have to go back to 1798 to target and
All right, 1798, that's the Alien and Sedition Act. That's what he's talking about. Under that law, the president can authorize the arrest, relocation, or deportation of any male over the age of 14 who hailed from a foreign enemy country. It also provided legal protections for those subject to the law. This is a wartime power. Donald Trump we're not in war. And these are not enemy. These people are not coming from enemy countries. Now, if you wanted to, let's say that we got into it with Syria and we were in conflict, and you had military-aged male, that's any male over the age of 14. If Donald Trump wanted to use the Alien Enemies Act to restrict people from Syria while we were at war, fine, he can do that. But you can't just say, I'm invoking this with countries that we're not at war with, right? Like I don't know who's advising him. I know he doesn't ask follow-up questions. Sounds like Japanese internment. Exactly. Actually, they use the Aliens Enemy Act for the Japanese internment camps. That's the exact law that they used. That's what they do. They used it. I want to say they tried to invoke it with the Muslim ban too. But I'm not 100% sure that's true. I'd have to go look that up. James Madison invoked it against British nationals during the War of 1812. Woodrow Wilson invoked the act against the nationals of the Central Powers during World War I. We used it after Pearl Harbor, like you said, for the Japanese internment camps. Yeah, it's been used, but not for immigrants, not for just people who are showing up here trying to find a better life. That's what being a Republican is, right? Being a Republican is being upset at people for being different than you. And because it makes you uncomfortable, you make up lies about them, like they're eating the pets, like they're stealing the jobs, like they're coming here to vote, like they're trying to get rid of white people, like they have a woke agenda. You make up all these lies because you're just uncomfortable with seeing people that look different than you. And that's the truth. Like, for every Republican, I've never debated a Republican who could articulate something different than that. You can't articulate that they are a greater danger to us because statistically they're not. So what do you have to do? You have to share a story about something that happened with somebody who was here illegally, and then you have to apply that to everybody, and then you say nobody can be here because of the actions of this one person or this handful of people. But the truth is they're just uncomfortable with immigration, which we desperately need right now. That first guest, the white nationalist, he's talking about declining birth rates. He's talking about declining job participation. He's talking about an aging population. The solution to all of those things are more immigrants, because we're not going to keep we're not having babies at that same rate. So their solution is ban abortion and force people to have kids. Our solution is, how about we let people have kids when they want to? And if we need more workforce, there's a lot of people all over the world that would be happy to come here and work. Let's let them come here and work. Like, our solution's sensible. Their solution is force women to carry babies. I think I'm with Jeffrey tonight. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to Jeff. I forgot today was Tuesday. I think I'm with Jeffrey tonight, I believe at 4 o'clock. Is Jeffrey here? And I'll get through, just make sure I get all the comments. I think we hit the goal today. Did we hit, let's see, add. Just short of the goal. This is the first time we haven't hit the goal, but we're just short of it. So thank you guys. We were 80. We're $9 short, actually, exactly. Jesse says the Google girl out on Steelers field with it. Oh, yeah. Actually, sorry, we're going to go into overtime here because here's what I wanted to see. The Steelers streaker. Not streaker, whatever you want to call it. Fan on the field. All right. This is her. Her neck has got to be killing her. She's wearing a Trump, or has a Trump sign. Is that the Trump face tattoo girl? Oh, you guys can't see it. I'm sorry. Let me share the screen. Sorry. I was watching it. I'm so sorry.
And to expedite removals of Trend Day.
Well, you guys, you missed what I saw. Sorry. Steelers streaker. I know I'm getting boomer comments. Sorry. Here it is. Okay, but my question is this the face tattoo? I haven't actually looked it up, but face tattoo. I just remember unnaturally large. All right, let's see. Unnaturally large cheeks. Where is she?
Got that, Maggie? It also says Trump.
Okay, look, the arm tattoo. If you go back to only her right arm. Obviously, she's got some work done. But if you look at the Steelers streaker, same thing. You had that one. So if anybody finds out, if anybody wants to look this up, because I'm going to forget, I think it might be the same person. Look, when the arm comes down, just the right arm has tattoos. I don't know. That was my only thought. My only thought was, is that it's this? Is it the same person? It's different. It's her. Yeah, you guys were thinking of the tattoo girl with it on her forehead. This is the one that got it there when she was going to vote. Anyways, if you guys find out it's her, that was my thought, and I forgot to look this stuff up. Her name is Rose. Listen, we all have our type. That's not my type. I can tell you right now that that's not attractive to me. That's not my type. So if you were thinking it was, Sal, don't go get cosmetic surgery, Sal. That's not my type. I don't think there's probably anything about that person that is real. Let me check comments one last time. Jen, will you message me on Discord who we're rating? Oh, are you saying it is that girl? Jen's saying it is. Chuck, thank you, Chuck, for the donation. Oh, thank you guys all. So many donations came in. Thank you. Jamie, Chuck, no message there, but thanks for the donation. Amber says, what do I get for the $9? There were a lot of $9. Josie, same thing. Maddie, for Golmet. Thank you, Maddie. All of you jumped on that at the same time. Thank you. What do you get? You get a virtual hug from me. That's not what Jen's saying yes to. All right. I don't remember what you're saying yes to. But who do you guys want to raid? I was going to say rally. Who should we raid? I see Alina. Claudia Rose is her name. All right. I'm going to look this up while you guys are. I see Alina. Did we recently raid Alina or no? I've seen that name before, but I don't remember who we. Oh, it's her. Oh, it's her. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Sorry. Good eye by me. Good eye by me. I'm proud of that. I'm honestly pretty proud of that. I'll go to the solo. All right, we're going to raid. I know we did Jovan recently. Guys, have we raided Alina? We've raided Mishi recently. Okay, let's raid Alina. And then I just wanted a quick shout out our friend African Knight. I saw you here earlier. I think African Knight's going live at 1:30. So also keep an eye out for African Knight at 1:30. Not live yet. Somebody just said they sent a Venmo. Oh shit. A lot of Venmos came through. All right. I got more Venmos to read. Thank you for catching that. They didn't load it first. Anne Marie says to reach the goal. Thank you, Anne Marie. I had a friend named Anne Marie. Doug says, thanks, my friend. Thank you, Doug. Why is this reload so weird? Rachel says, goal. Thank you, Rachel. Grammar hole says you're muted. Different Rachel says, for being your wonderful self. Thank you. It's the only way I know how to do it. Alyssa says, here you go, daddy. I like that. I'm cool with being called daddy. I like that. My daughter's been calling me Jay lately, so it's nice to hear daddy once in a while. Can you make an excuse me sticker? Jen, excuse me sticker is requested. Michelle says for the OT before OT pay is eliminated. Thank you. Abel says, did you hear Trump's Secret Service tried to talk the shooter down? Unfortunately, he couldn't hear what they were saying just out of earshot. I did not hear that. I did not. And then Kaylin says, thank you for all you do. Go Niners. That's right. Bang, bang. Niner gang. I appreciate it. I'll check Cash App one more time. Make sure I didn't miss anybody's. If I missed your comment today for some reason, will you DM me and I will read it tomorrow? I'm sorry. Sometimes I miss a few. WJ's daughter. How dare you? Yeah, she calls me Jay now. terrible. It's so funny though. Anyways, guys, I think 4 o'clock with Jeffrey, if I'm going live. I haven't heard from him, but it should be tonight at 4 o'clock, and then tomorrow morning, and not every day, weekday morning, Tuesday through Friday now, 9:30 a.m. to 1 Pacific Standard Time. You can find us right here. If you want the replay, it's on YouTube at RTP-Talks. If you'd like to interact and follow me on other social media, you can do it on Twitter. You can also do it on Instagram. I think I am actually going to start entering some Twitter spaces a little bit more and doing some debates on Twitter, and I'll probably just like cross stream them here if I can figure out how to do that. And for all those people talking shit about Parker, Crystal says he's live now.